This was covered in the training. I'm sure all of you have seen it. Big believer in this, guys, right? So, I mean, people come to me, they're like, hey, Avi, help me find a job, help me get a promotion, help me progress in a career, help me become a consultant. And I'm like, yeah, tell me about your work. And they don't have a good story. It's what are you doing, right? I mean, if you're really focused about your life and career, you got to take these steps. So, I mean, it does upset some people, but I think what I've seen is that for a lot of people, the approach they take towards their job, the career, finding stuff is extremely lazy. I mean, if you really think that in this day and age, updating your resume and blasting it out and applying, filling out these online applications is the best way to find a job, yeah, you got to go, I don't know, 10 or 20 years back in time. It doesn't work like that anymore. So, yeah, so this is really important, folks. And it's going to build over time. You don't have to be great. You don't have to be perfect to get started, but you have to get started to be perfect. This is it, right? All right. So, yeah. And of course, next week, same time, uh, all of you are going to be there to present, and I'm looking forward to that. Right after this, we should be able to send out an invite for you for that. And of course, this is all practice for the ultimate presentation, which is when you're sitting down one on one with a job interviewer, with your potential client, if you're in consulting, right? Yeah. So, all right. So you've seen that. Yeah. I mean, small is good. Follow the structure, problem, action, result, and that's yeah, I don't have to go into more detail. So let's go in the order I see you join. So Ivan, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen, and yeah, share your screen. And guys, this is practice. If you have a Power BI presentation, great. If you don't have a Power BI presentation, just hopefully you have some notes or outline in a Word document or OneNote, or let's create that in here, or you have some screenshots, whatever you have. So right now, hey, I'm always like, so my coach talks to me about acceptance and commitment. So I kind of accept where you are. You don't have to beat yourself like, oh, I'm not prepared yet. Accept where you are, but let's move forward from here. That's all I'm here to do. All right, Ivan. So yeah, go ahead. So I definitely want you to practice screen sharing. Just so yeah, click that button, share
Yeah,
screen.
Where
yeah.
is it? Where is the button for screen sharing?
It should be in the middle. If you hover
Ah,
over
yes,
the
yes,
buttons, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah, perfect.
The three dots. Yes.
Yes. I share the report. I didn't, well, the presentation I prepared is not immediately available.
Okay, I
I
can.
just
Yeah,
prepared
we
the
can see
presentation
your.
for my boss. I made.
Yeah, so we're seeing your Power BI, right? 2024 30-day dashboard,
You can see the dashboard.
right?
Yeah,
Okay, cool, 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 awesome.
yeah,
So, yeah, just
yeah.
uh, yeah, if you don't mind, yeah.
Because
So I'm just looking at the structure on my other screen. How are you introducing
well,
yourself?
the
Short and sweet is
presentation
good.
for packaging task was to identify
Sorry, the audio
in
might have cut out a
yeah.
little bit. How are you introducing yourself?
Well, I'm an OPEX manager, operational excellence manager
Mm-hmm.
for a company that produce manufacture packaging, disposable packaging. And I'm trying to get inside the digitalization project.
Mm-hmm.
And I use the knowledge in Power BI just to verify if the first implementation we made to control the output of our production line was successfully or not.
Okay,
So
got it.
this is the task.
All right, that's good. That's good. But I always love and recommend humanizing the introduction a bit.
Okay, sorry.
And that's what we forget. And we forget that in meetings, right? We're like, oh,
Mm,
I'll be saying Barbie at present. Man, I'm a person too. So, of course, I mean, and so say one thing which is a bit personal. And we have seen presenters from our consultant program, amazing ones like Raul. He puts up a photo of his family. You don't have to do that. You can do your own thing. I mean, if I
mhm,
go in there, maybe I can say I love to hike. Maybe you can say where you're based out of. So I'll say, hey, I'm here in Seattle, and
mm,
yeah, it's green and it's beautiful. Something
mhm.
simple, but yeah, throw in something in there.
Okay.
Sounds good. Yeah, yeah. So just make that part of the intro, and you introduce, say, yep, I'm OpEx, this and that, so forth. That's good. And hey, I love to do this. I'm based out of here. I've got two
Mhm.
kids. Whatever's going on in your life, right? So just share one bit.
Okay.
Okay, cool. So and then always start with a teaser, with the visual teaser. So this is good.
Okay.
You can just start with the screenshot. And the teaser is, remember, it's like in the movie trailer. You know, nobody is
Mhm.
going to complain that, hey, I watched the movie trailer and shit, I didn't get it. The trailer didn't make sense. I don't know I didn't get the movie storyline. Well, because it's not the movie. So when you show the screenshot, you don't have to talk to it. Do not talk to it. Right? Don't
Mhm.
start explaining the screenshot. Don't be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, as you can see, it shows this graph. No, no, it's just a trailer. It's a hook. It's a visual hook. So there you can leave the visual hook because yeah, man, people Power BI dashboards look interesting. Like, oh, I want to find more. But then you said what you said, like, hey, this was our mission, this is what we're doing, something like that. If you're doing a PowerPoint, you have a little more control because your
Yeah.
screenshot can be smaller and you can
Mhm.
have the title at the top. It's like, hey, the goal of the project was this. You've seen one of the screenshots. I'll of course tell you a whole lot more about it. So yeah, let's walk through. Okay, got it. So teaser hook. So cool. So now walk me through, what was the problem that you guys were trying to solve? What was the action? Yeah, I just walked through the problem action report.
Yeah. So our supplier prepared a dashboard for us
Hmm.
and just summarized the KPIs for the company. And I took the responsibility to check the numbers and the figure that came out from the system to the dashboard in order to understand if the KPI were um, reliable, or we need to find out if there are problems and where the problem are. So I started looking at
Hold on.
the
So,
available. Yeah.
so the part that is important, I think you little minimized it. You
Okay.
said where the problems are. Problem is the star.
Hmm.
PAR. Problem is the star. What kind of problems are you looking for? What problems might arise, have arisen in the past? Tell me a bit more about that.
Well, at the first presentation, especially the efficiency numbers shown by the report, the supply report,
Mm.
were far away from the numbers we have from the production.
Oh
So
my
the actual,
God, dude.
yeah,
I mean, you see how awesome this is, right?
yeah,
This is awesome because everybody listening who was working with suppliers is going, shit, we've had this problem. Or they're wondering, oh shit, what if we have this problem? We don't even know. Isn't that the truth? A lot of companies don't even know. They haven't looked. Problem, and problem gets people attention. So yeah, teaser is great, but problem, you want to grow in this. So that was awesome. Right? And yeah, and it's okay to sit in there. It's okay to kind of take that time. So you say, yep. So this was challenge. Beautiful, beautiful, loving it, awesome. Walk me through a little bit of the rest. So of course, problem, once you've talked about that, it's kind of action result. Yep. So keep going.
so I leverage the data we have for manual recording. I mean, the actual production that we took from our department, and we
Yeah.
get inside the warehouse, so the real number of the production we have daily,
Yeah.
and I compared with the numbers we got from the automatic counting system we installed in the line. So the target was just to identify if the hardware installed was at least counting similar numbers, and the figure was what I was expecting. You can see here in the graph
Yeah.
is that the blue one are the counted by the sensor parts, and the
Yeah.
orange part are the manually recorded and
Okay.
part
Okay.
that came
Okay.
inside the warehouse.
Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna pause you. So, folks, here's the thing: we might not be able to step through a presentation with each one of you in the time that we have in the 1 hour. I actually have more time blocked. So if you're willing to stay or able to stay, I know people are joining from all different time zones. So appreciate you being here. But consider this as a template because all the things that I'm talking about apply to everybody. The humanizing the intro, the teaser, focusing on the problem. So you're still gonna get what you need to prepare for your presentation. Um, yeah, one thing we will make sure before we leave is each one of you has knows we would yeah knows to uh, update your name if you need to, and then webcam, all the controls, basically sharing screen. That's a good one. So Robert, let's make sure we do that. We have everybody kind of practice that, and we'll do that right after Ivan. We'll just, we wouldn't go through the presentation. We'll just have everybody practice clicking the buttons. Uh, so Ivan, gosh, what was the thing?
Okay.
Maybe I should write it down. Um, let me think. Let me think. So, okay, explain like babies. Yes, 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 yes. Three things. Explain like babies, mouse pointer, focus. Okay. So, shit, if I forget, somebody write it down. I'm too excited right now. God, I can't even hold it right now. Okay, so sometimes we and you did a great job. You did really good on explaining things. But at least in my mind, and again, I'm not I don't have the business knowledge that you have. But when you mentioned efficiency, at some point,
Mhm.
make sure to explain that. Like, what does
Okay.
efficiency mean for you? Like,
Mhm.
how to, and again, more of a layman's explanation, as if you're explaining to a child, rather
Yeah, yeah.
than DAX formula or something that comes later. You can show that if that's interesting, right? So yeah, so
Mhm.
efficiency. What does that mean? So I got suppliers, I got vendors. Oh, actually, there's one other thing. You know what? Shit, uh, I'm gonna write it. Okay, got it. Got it. So, focus, mouse, explain like sheets, and so explain like you're doing to a kid. Yeah,
Mhm.
sometimes we feel that, oh, this is basic stuff everybody knows. Sometimes people don't, and
Yeah,
even if
yeah.
they do, it helps, right? So um so explain a little bit. So in your case it's efficiency,
Mhm.
and folks, you have accountability partners. So again, you can take the training, the first training that we did in December, which is like, hey, how to present. Combine that with this kind of workshop, and you can work out these things with the accountability partner. So what we're going to do is we're going to send this recording with the full transcripts, and sometimes I don't even know the things that I say. Like, I didn't show up thinking that I'm going to talk about explain like kid context and focus mode, but I'll try my best to summarize the notes, so when you're working back and forth with the accountability partner, you can help each other with that. Does that make sense? Actually, you know what? Maybe this is also a good time to find the private chat. So, does the idea of practicing the points I am discussing with your accountability partner make sense? Just just type in a yes. So, uh, yeah. So these controls are different, but yeah, this is a streaming studio and helps us go live. So if you can find the private chat and just type in a yes, yep, yeah, that'll be great. Yeah, you might need that in the setting if you're like, hey, I mean, I don't know, my kid is crying. Can I go later or whatever? Stuff happens. So you know that you have the chat box in there. All right. So hopefully everybody is able to find the chat box. If not, I'm gonna call on you and say, hey, look to the left of the microphone button. By the way. Okay. Um, yeah, Sora found it. That's great. So I talked about explain a little bit like kids. The other
Mhm.
one is the context. That helps. Like you said, supplier. But yeah, tell me a bit more. Like, what are they supplying? Or it seems they're producing something. Are they manufacturing something? Like, if you can share, sometimes it's going to be like you can't. Yeah, you're anonymizing it. You can't share the name, but if you can, are you
Mhm.
able to? Are you able to? Will you be able to share that in there? Just like what's the supplier? What's the context? Give me if
Well,
you are
the
able.
context, yeah, I will not name it, but
Mhm.
the context is we are trying to make a transition to digital reporting and
No, no, no. But
to,
but when you say
yeah.
supplier, what are they
Ah,
supplying?
okay.
Can you name that?
Yeah, they just help us in making the analysis and the reporting in a digital way. So
Wait,
an
that's what the
IT is
supplier
not
is
an
doing?
integrator. Sorry?
You use the word supplier and efficiency production. What
Mhm.
is being produced or supplied? Well, like, is it a product? What are they
No, they
building?
produce a service. They help us.
Got it.
Well,
Got it. Got it. Got it. So tell me more. So now the service word
yeah,
at least it helped me. So it's
no,
it's
no.
it's
Well,
a service based.
they
Got it.
the task they had to make is just helping us to switch from Excel, locally Excel driven reporting, to a
Mm,
centralized reporting system, and they developed the software for the user interface, which is supposed to categorize every stops we have in the line, and also to aggregate all the data and produce dashboard that allow our board to see the performance of each plant in real time. That was the task we asked them to do.
got it. So when
And
you were talking about efficiency, is the efficiency of each plant, is it?
yes, exactly. And actually, what I made it was just well, talking about efficiency can have different level,
Hmm.
and speaking about the basic level is just see how much do you produce, respect how theoretically you could
Hmm.
produce in the same time.
Oh, lovely.
So
This is awesome. And by the way, guys, I mean, this is a classic way. Again, I mean, the first tip that I think I shared was what is it? Be brief, be bright, be gone. So yeah, so sometimes people are like, "Oh, I have to talk about everything that I did." Nope, less is more. So see what Ivan did? He said, "Hey, there's a lot more to efficiency." And I could see that. Yep, he's an expert, or that's the vibe that I got. That yeah, I mean, he knows a lot more, but yeah, he's sharing a little bit. That makes sense, right? So less is more. So efficiency, I got it. And so it's a manufacturing plant. What is the plant manufacturing or creating?
collapsible tubes, the one you can see for mayonnaise, tomato.
Great. If you can mention that, that's awesome.
Yeah, yeah,
That is
yeah,
awesome. Bring. I mean, if you're doing a PowerPoint, stick a photo of that, right? I mean, the tomato and all that stuff.
mhm,
Yeah, that's good stuff.
yeah, yeah.
That is context, by the way, right? So yeah, so I think I get that you're dealing with a company who was kind of building the service, and it seems you kind of found challenges in their work, but the context is really around the business itself that's being reported on.
Mhm.
So actually, what you said is the context too. That's the context in which you're working with this report. But this stuff is interesting, like Power BI. What kind of business are we reporting on? Right? Right? I mean, it's so again, I've been working with a dental clinic lately. I've been working with a law firm. I've been working with a online retailer with supply chain issues, and I've been working with a metal recycling company. So that's the kind of the context, and then I can say, yeah, metal recycling company. What their they're getting these aluminum cans and all this stuff from different places, and they're trying to see that, hey, who are our good suppliers? Because anytime they get a truckload full of things, there's a lot of waste in that, right? So they say aluminum cans, but not 100% aluminum cans. There's some trash in there. For one, it's 30% trash. For one, it's 50% trash, right? So that is context. Like, tell me about the business. Tell me like real tangible things. So for you, when you say, hey, yeah, they have, and if you can mention plants, like, yeah, they have like 5 plants which are making collapsible tubes, or 2 plants, doesn't matter, right? And show the photos, like, yeah, these tubes are used in tomato wines and that sort of stuff. And maybe you use them or seen them, or definitely you've eaten the
Hmm.
tomatoes which are grown off of this collapsible tube. Right. So yeah. So again, it's a storytelling is a bit of art as well, and yeah, that can kind of make it things a little bit more interesting, more juicy. Yeah. So apologies
Legal.
for the vegetarians, but imagine eating a steak, and yeah, you want it like nice and juicy. They just add some juice in there. It's not just dry. And same thing with the humanizing one. When you say, yeah, I got 2 kids and I love to go hiking on them, or yeah, I just for this new year I went for a snowy hike with my son. Doesn't matter, but again, it adds just a bit of juice. All right, man, good stuff. So explain like kids context. Third one is these two are close together, mouse and focus. So, folks, you got to find this setting. And again, I mean, now it's like we run out of excuses because there's Google and there's ChatGPT. And of course, frankly, this one is not that hard to figure out. So, mouse, you got to increase the size of your mouse, and you got to, if you can, change the color. So, I'm going to take over the screen for a bit,
Yeah.
and you notice my mouse, right? I mean, sometimes I'm working with a client and they joke about it. They make fun of me. It's like, Avi, you have this humongous mouse. And yeah, sometimes my mouse cursor is so big, it doesn't look that big, but trust me, it's big. um if you're gonna compare it with what you have on your screen, sometimes I have trouble typing because the mouse is kind of like can't see what I'm typing. So yeah, so this helps, right? So mouse color is different. I've made it bigger. You can make it bigger if you want. The default mouse, you think you're pointing on things. Like you have a screenshot. Do I have Power BI here? I don't have. Let's see. Come on, go away. Um, yeah, I can't bring up. I actually just have a client file open. Shit, this is not. Oh, you know what? I can do this. I can do this. I can show you the model view because that's safe. Oops. So yeah, so with the regular mouse, you would think that, oh, I'm pointing, but man, nobody can see. And this day and age, sometimes people are watching on the mobile device, so they are definitely gone, right? They're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, right? So that's one. And the other thing, so go ahead, Ivan, share your screen again. I'll stop my screen sharing. The other one, and again, I don't know if you would present with PowerPoint. So that's one way to do. You have screenshots in PowerPoint, and all is good. But if you are able to present with Power BI, go back to that screen.
Okay.
Yeah, go back to the dashboard. Nice, beautiful dashboard that you had.
Yeah. You can see it or no?
No. Hey, yeah, if you have multiple screens, you might
Okay.
want to try that again.
Okay.
So I think,
Okay. The dashboard.
Robert, on the list, let's do like a webcam kind of check as well, and the screen share. Okay, so you started talking about the column chart, blue and orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
This
can.
is.
Yeah, so when you can also use the focus mode if you are using Power BI. So go ahead, put that into focus mode. You know the pop out button. Yeah, just hover over the graph.
Yeah.
Yep, and the top right of that graph, the arrow small. No, just left of that. This guy focus. Is
Okay.
that I don't, yeah, I'm not sure what it says in your language.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you can do this if you're using Power BI. Just make it
Okay.
bigger. I mean, yeah, so that way people know what you're talking about, and then you can
Mhm.
go back to the report. And if you're talking
Yeah.
about the next element, you can make that bigger. right? So yeah, just kind of
Uh-huh.
walk them through. And again, of course,
Okay.
depending on, right? So yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
All right, cool stuff. So let's have you continue. So uh, tell me what this orange and blue, uh,
Okay.
what are they
So
comparing? It's comparing something.
yeah, I was comparing the quantity
Hmm.
we have in the ERP system, so the real quantity that get
Yes.
inside the warehouse, and the quantity counted by the automatic system. Just because I was looking for the basic data, the
Yeah.
truthful data, and I found out that actually the two data are okay. So we are exactly in the trend we expected to have. So the
Hmm.
real product in warehouse is slightly less than the quantity at the right before the packaging, because some scrap always happen
Okay.
between the last stage and the warehouse. So the first information we got is that the system, the hardware
Hmm.
installed was good.
Okay.
So the diagram just show in easier to understand way that the findings are good in terms of hardware and
Got
system
it.
installed, and the table is just to
And the graph is weekly, so you can see it week by week, right?
yeah. This is well actually this is the yes aggregated by week. It took me some times to make it daily in the table and weekly in the graph, but
Mhm. Good
at the end
stuff.
I couldn't do it.
Proud of you.
And actually, I also made the version just in. Oops. Okay, the just weekly comparison because our supplier dashboard aggregate in week. So I had to in order to compare. Um, now I use the focus one. So in the graph, I am comparing the ERP data,
Hmm.
the counting data, and the dashboard reporting data. So the green bars are what we are seeing in the supplier dashboard.
And this is what you're talking about, the discrepancy,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah. So we cannot validate the dashboard
Yeah.
because we are not really communicate to our plant the right amount, the right efficiency we calculate. So the message for them after the analysis will be that the system is working in terms of hardware and in basic terms, but there is some problem. Well, actually, I just find out where the problem is that until
Okay.
we spoke about volume, we are okay,
Hmm.
but they are considering they switch to from volume to time based, and switching to time based, they are losing the right quantity. The numbers are not really the one we have.
Got it.
This is the point.
Man,
So
what a project. So this is great. So problem, we started with that. Action, you showed us, you got beautiful dashboards, well built, look great. And result is we found this discrepancy. So one thing that I do when I'm working with my clients, and again, this is like, I don't know, think of it like interviewing technique, storytelling technique. It's all the same thing. I mean, storytelling is a key. That's what's happening in interview. Folks, if you may not realize it, that's what interviewing is about. So so one thing that I like to do is to expand things in space and time. Um, sometimes it's hard to find a specific example, but one I can say is that you got this result. So you kind of ended there. It's like, yep, there's a discrepancy and blah blah, right? But what you can do is you can at least expand it in time. In this case, maybe space may not apply, uh, but what you can do is you can say that if this had been not detected, what could the impact have been? Right?
yeah,
Probably not good, not good at all. So you say, yeah. So you can say, so you can say exactly what you said, but then add the statement saying, um, yeah, so we found this out, and it's a good thing we did. It's a good thing we, spent the time and energy, and did all this work in Power BI, because if we hadn't, then this could have meant that we are making decision on faulty data. And
Mhm.
people think data is great, but guess what? I mean, faulty data can do you much more harm than good. So, folks, yeah, it's not just about putting things up in Power BI. You got to do the tough stuff. You got to validate the data. You got to make sure it's right, and that's why you got to have uh, basic level expertise, something like that. I'm making it up, but again, the idea is to just expand it.
Mhm.
Just so you know how it now sounds way more important. Now everybody's like kind of getting nervous, like, shit. I mean, have you been validating our data? That's what's going on. So again, I mean, we're doing this. We're practicing these skills in this setting. Imagine doing that in an interview, right? The person who's interviewing you, again, could be a job, could be a potential client. He's thinking, shit, we need this guy. Yeah, we need that kind of thing. We don't just need Power BI. So that's what you get. And you can do the same thing with the initially when you're talking about the problem too, you know. So, um, yeah. Uh, so again, it may not be a great example, but I'll just run with it. So, for example, if I was talking about the manufacturing plant and efficiency, you can say that why that's important, and you can expand it over time. So you can say something like that. Hey, I mean, obviously, every company, every manufacturing unit wants to be efficient, but the challenge these days is that uh, I mean, uh, you can't just kind of be in a niche and it's like, yeah, we'll do our thing. If you're inefficient, you'll be driven out of business. That's the challenge, because your competitor next door is, probably using business intelligence to monitor their business, is probably thinking about or already incorporating AI into the business. So yeah, companies got to keep the technical edge. If they don't, you get driven out of business. So again, right? So I expanded it in time again. I'll hopefully in this call I'll do one more example of expanding in space. So problem, action, result, and then what's going to be the last piece is uh, I think your closing. What's your call to action? I don't know if you remember from the training. It's really simple. It's nothing complicated. But what's your call to action? So you end it, say, "Hey, folks, thank you. Really enjoyed," or something, and then you asking them for the action. What is that?
Well, now actually we will organize a meeting with the supplier and we ask them to um, organize the data working on volumes and not in time.
Well, actually, that is
And
still result. So call to action is to the audience, and it's
okay,
it's actually. I mean, it's mostly always in this one. It's really simple, which is you want people to connect with you, right? Networking is one of the best ways to find jobs, find clients, open doors. And odd thing is, you can't think of networking that way. You can't think of like, oh, I want to network with people because I want to find a job. No, you network because I network because I like talking to people. I like getting to know them. And maybe first I look to help them. Just like, and everybody can help everybody. I mean, you think, oh, well, no, man. I mean, I don't know, in different ways. So sometimes we help others just by being a good listener, right? So who knows? So yeah, so the call to action, clear call to action, and everybody should have a slide on there saying, hey, folks, hope you enjoyed this. Connect
okay,
with me on LinkedIn. Would love to connect with you on LinkedIn. Here's my URL, right? So LinkedIn, I like that platform. That's good. I love that because man, when LinkedIn somebody sends you a connection request, you pretty much know everything you need to know about them from a professional perspective, right? I mean, yeah. Hey, so yeah, I mean, I which makes it easier for me how to talk to them. If I get an email from a CEO of a small company, I know how to talk to them. If I get it from a business analyst in a tech company, I know how to talk to them. I'm going to say different things. So that's the reason I love LinkedIn. You don't have to do it, but I think I said in my meeting yesterday, It's like, man, not using LinkedIn these days is like literally leaving money on the table. Like, yeah, it's yeah, you're leaving money on the table. All right, cool. So folks, so yeah, so you have the previous 1 hour training that we did in December that kind of said that gave you the theory. This, take it like practice, and again, we're going to send you the notes. I took some, but we'll send you the recording for this one. And each point that we covered, so some we covered just from our basic training, so again, which we had done in December. So yeah, so that was intro, and again, I called out some things that I saw could be tweaked for Ivan. But again, work with your accountability partner so that you can check each other. So if you're not seeing that they did something to humanize their intro, it was all business. Say, hey, talk about your kids, talk about your hobbies, talk about something. I mean, Robert does these crazy things. You've probably seen his photos. He takes a Power BI cup or a Power BI T-shirt, climbs up Mount Kenya, and gets his photos there. I don't know, right? I mean, yeah, there's well, we're not as adventurous as Robert, all of us, but there's always something. Again, family, where you live, could be anything, right? So teaser is important. Problem, action, result. You see us walk through that, and then closing is simple. Hey, I'm Avi saying connect with me here on LinkedIn, and show the URL. So the last screen should be your photo with all that. Do I have an example? Well, I mean, I did do an example demo in the December trainings, and you guys have the link for that. So do that. For now, what I would like to do is just go through the room, and Robert, maybe you can call out people one by one. Ivan, you've already practiced. Thank you. Looking good. A few other notes. So we're looking for. So Ivan, are you able to tilt the camera down a little bit? Like, I don't know if it's on a laptop.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah. So guys, yeah, you want good framing. I think the light is decent. So of course, right now this is practice. So you may not, like, you may have a different place you would present, but I'm not sure. Actually, let's turn off my screen sharing so we can see you guys kind of one by one. Yeah. So Ivan, I think on your right, there seems to be a bright light. I think it's okay, but you can kind of play around with the lighting and so forth. So
Yeah.
again, folks, and trust me, I mean, I struggle so much with lighting. I often don't have good lighting, like, yeah. So yeah, whatever you can to improve. And what I would like you to find is in your video settings. So click on the gear icon, and folks, everyone can try that. Click on the gear icon, and uh, yeah, go to virtual background, and try out the blur option. Yeah. So uh, and again, we covered this in the training. Generally, I don't like the blur option. Actually, this one is okay. Sometimes it makes it too blurry. So there is a virtual background option, but that's not my first preference. If you can present without any, yeah, just plain camera, that is actually the best option. But if you have a very busy background or something like that, so again, folks, treat this as an interview. Sometimes people are like, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, just treat this as an interview. And generally, and this is not my advice, this is Jack Welch's. Every meeting is an interview, right? So yeah. All right. So yeah. So for Ivan, the default looks great. So again, I mean, so that should be good. So yeah, Ivan, see if you can fix up the lighting a little bit, but that's good. So Ivan has already practiced screen sharing. Eric, let's go to you. Nice uh, background. Yeah, backing yourself to a wall is a great way. There's no distraction there. So Eric, background looks good. Go ahead and try to share your screen. We want to make sure that yeah, the button's all right.
Good evening, everybody. Hello, Happy New Year.
Yay.
Let me just share my screen.
Oh, and folks, if you can be, so Ivan, yeah, definitely. turn the virtual background off. Like if you're playing with it, that's good. But yeah, man, I'm not a huge fan of virtual backgrounds. Use it only if you absolutely have to. All right, Eric's screen is coming up.
Yes, I don't know if you can see my screen.
Mm,
Okay. Yeah, I know it's
no,
on in
it's
loop,
not
so I'm gonna do it.
working great. Yeah, oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, perfect, perfect. Good, good, good.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, good,
So yeah,
good. Screen share is good. So awesome. So we'll just cycle through the members. And let me see. Yeah. If you can get a light source, this seems to be, I don't know, maybe the light is on top of you. Is there like overhead light in the ceiling?
yeah, it's the room's light. I was wondering if
Yeah,
I shouldn't
if you
take
can
an extra
if you can
light here. I don't know, but it's gonna
exactly.
require
Yeah,
maybe
yeah, yeah.
2 or 3 minutes for me to set it up.
Great.
Would
If you
that be
can,
necessary? I can absent
awesome, right? So
myself
yeah, I
for two
mean,
minutes
yeah.
and then. Okay, okay, okay.
Yep,
So
yeah,
I'll be
that'll
back.
be good.
Thanks.
All right. Okay. All right, Dolores, let's check your
Um,
setup. So go ahead, try to share the screen. We want to make sure everybody is comfortable with that.
okay.
By the way, I want to say for the record that I love you guys. In fact, one of our problems is that I don't even understand, and Robert and I often talk about it. Is that guys, you don't realize that this group has been hitting it out of the park. Now, actually, I do have some clues. One clue is Robert himself. Robert
Ah,
runs his program, and he does such an incredible job. But yeah, so we're trying to figure out how do we recreate the success that we see in this group. I mean, you guys are on it. And by the way, guys, don't compare yourself, right? So sometimes people do that. Ivan, sorry, man. Do you mind turning your virtual background off? It's yeah. All right, all right. So yeah, so it's not about, oh, look at Ivan's presentation. Mine is too simple. It's not fancy. It's not about that. This one is like going to the gym. I mean, I go to the gym, dude. There are people that are fitter than me, the people that are less fit than me. Doesn't matter. This journey is, in a way, about improving yourself. That's all it is. All right, cool. So screen share worked good. We're looking at your Power BI file.
okay. Shall I begin?
Operes, operaciones. Now we're just doing a webcam test. So, are you? Is your webcam? It's gonna. It's like we're looking at you sideways.
Yes,
Mm,
because I have got two big screens here and the computer at the side where the
yeah.
camera is.
So,
So
I mean, it's not ideal.
if I look at
Actually,
you, you cannot look at me. That's
yeah.
the problem.
So,
But
y-
anyway, I'm
yeah.
going to
So,
you
I'll,
must look
I'll
my screen, not me. You are
well,
supposed
but
to look.
people see you. So again, guys, I mean, you can live in two worlds. Two
Okay.
worlds. One world is the old school world
Yes.
where you work in the company which are around in a 25-mile or 50-mile radius, right?
Okay.
And yeah, and then if you can't find a job there, you move. That is the old way. The new way is you can be freaking anywhere in the world and your client can be anywhere. I mean, I spent 2 months in India. I don't have to even think about it. Right? It's no big deal. I can be in India. I visited Robert in Kenya. Doesn't matter where I'm in the world. And the best part, I can look for employers anywhere in the world. I
Okay.
mean, seriously, I mean, for most people, it means US. That means working with US companies and US clients. So for that, you got to step into the digital age. That means you got to take care of these things, right? So again, every meeting is an interview. Imagine, would you walk into an in-person interview where you're sitting sideways to a person, you're not
Okay.
looking at
No,
them?
no, of course. But what can I do?
Exactly. Well,
Just
so answer is simple. Just get
okay.
a USB webcam. So I'll switch my webcam. So
Okay.
this is the one on my laptop right here.
Yes.
But then I have a big monitor in front of me,
Yes.
and I have just bought this USB
Ah, okay.
webcam, and
Okay.
I plopped it on top of my monitor.
Okay. Okay.
Right? Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yeah, so yeah, I mean, I'll say if you can fix it for next week, great.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Okay.
eventually you do want to fix it because again, man,
I
I
will do
want you
it.
guys to be living in this world where you can be anywhere and you can go after employers anywhere in the world. Why not? There
Okay.
are great companies all over the world.
Okay.
All right, cool. So for now, ignore that part. By the way, terrific lighting. So you have to be getting natural light in this room. Is that true? Is there like
I
daylight streaming in? What's happening?
yes, yes, yes. It is daylight. Yes, it's my
Great.
house.
Yeah. So beautiful house by the way. Very well lit. I mean, it's yeah. So folks, I mean, of course, we don't all have a choice, and sometimes time zone wise, it can be evening, it can be dark. But when you can, natural light is best. I think Robert's setup, and of course, it might be evening for him now. Yeah, it is night for Robert, but in daytime he faces the window, and yeah. So if when you can get natural light, that's beautiful. So uh, ignore the webcam thing for now. So yeah, so
Okay.
Dolores, if it's okay, we're just switching through. Just make sure everybody is kind of handy with the controls and stuff. So
Okay.
let's go. Let's do. What am I doing? Yeah, let's go. Uh, so we worked with Eric. Who else? So sorry, I might mess up your name. Is it Luis? Luis Asora.
Hello everyone, it's Lois.
Luis. Am I saying kind of okay?
Yeah.
All right, all right. Hi, Luis. So let's have you test the share screen button.
Can you see my screen?
We can. Yeah, we can see now the social media analysis. That's great. And I will ask you what's happening with the webcam. I mean, if you're in a place right now where like, hey, I just can't turn on the webcam right now, that's okay. But yeah, oh, oh, n- yeah, I'm not seeing you on webcam. What's
You can see me?
yeah.
Oh,
Ah, there we go. Awesome. Great, great, great. Good stuff. Good stuff. And by the way, great setup. Yeah, again, back to the wall is a great way. So, of course, I don't have that luxury. So, my bed is behind me, and you can see it's kind of pretty messy there. So, I have to use the screen. But yeah, back to a wall is a good strategy. And I think the lighting is good. It's like, yeah, good. Yeah, nice, nice setup. So, that's great. Screen share looks great. I think we're good kind of technically. Uh, is there anybody on the call? I think some people might have dropped off, and that's okay. Um, all right, cool. So uh, let's uh, let's go back here again. All right. So again, guys, I just wanted to kind of do a test with everybody, and let's take
should I
maybe.
stop sharing?
Actually, hold on. So we'll oh, where's Eric? Yeah, Eric, you did something to the lighting. Did you? It does look better.
Yes, yeah. I
Mm.
hope it's better now. I hope it's better.
It is.
I went and
Good, good
got
stuff.
my wife TikTok lights, and we had an argument when
Aha!
she bought it, but now I'm happy she did. So
Nice, folks. All right, good stuff. Excited. So hey, I know we're getting close to the top of the hour. So if you have to go, that's okay. Uh, if you need to leave, then know that you already have the training that you need. One, the theory that we covered in December, then kind of a practice session that we did today with Ivan. We'll send a recording of this as well. We'll summarize it. We'll tell you the things that we covered. You know, kind of the explaining like kids, the context, the focus, and mouse. And we would want you to just work it out with the accountability partner. Have them go through this and just point out, look for these things. Maybe make it like a checklist. Like, yep, did they humanize their intro? Did they have a good teaser? Did they speak about the problem? Da da da. things like that, right? So just you know what? That's what we'll do. We'll make it into a checklist and have you do that with the accountability partners. But today, I can stay for as long as you guys can. Um, so we'll take the next one, Dolores. I'm kind of roughly to Dolores. Did you want to share your screen again? And if you have time, if you're able to stay, just
Yes,
walk me
yes.
through a little bit of
I have
presentation.
got
All right, great.
time, yes. Uh,
Again, guys, I mean, I'm a fan of this group. I mean, if we can
thank
get,
you, thank you, thank you.
yeah, if we can get this level of results for our Learn Power BI members, it'll be like mind blowing.
Okay,
Awesome, awesome. So again, you have the structure. I have it on my screen here. Brief intro, teaser hook,
okay.
problem,
My
action,
brief
result,
intro.
closing. Yep. Yeah.
Okay. My name is Dolores. I live in Buenos Aires, Argentina. And the fun fact about me is that I'm going to turn 70 in these days. So I might be one of the eldest Power BI students in the world.
Awesome. Love it. Right, guys, it's
I'm going
simple.
to I'm going
Yeah.
to have a 1 week celebration with my 7 kids and 8 grandchildren next week after the presentation. After the presentation. Well,
Love it.
and
Love it.
yes,
Okay, so
yes.
I'll
I'm
I'll
going.
pause you just for a second. So guys, I don't know, sometimes we're like so busy focused on the work, but I'm a huge Simon Sinek fan. Huge fan. And man, he tells you how the world works. And he says it starts with the why. Right? It starts with the why. So our emotional brain is the one that makes decisions, right? And then when
Yes,
we have made the decision, the logical brain, the modern brain that's developed around it, adds logic to justify it. For example, I wanted to buy this car, and in a way, my emotional brain already decided, kind of, already decided for me. But
yes,
then my logical brain steps in. I was like, oh, the color is so beautiful. Oh, the mileage is so great. Oh, they're giving this great warranty. But all that stuff is, in a way, BS because the decision is already made. So that's why we want to plant that a little bit of emotional hook. Not too much. You don't need to overdo it. But yeah, just it just humanizes you. So what happens now at some level, I already like Dolores. So guess what? Now I'm going to see the whole rest of the presentation in a more positive light.
okay,
And
okay,
again,
okay, okay,
we're not just talking about this presentation. In a way, this all of this is just practice for the most important presentation, which is going to be the one-on-one
okay,
interviews or talking to potential clients. So good stuff, Dolores. Love the
okay.
energy, love the authenticity. You're just like, yep, I'm here. I'm happy to
Yeah,
be here. Like the energy is important
okay.
too. So I'm feeling it. Let's keep going. So yeah, so
Okay, my presentation is about a small company which rents flats in Buenos Aires. As you can see in the pictures, they are very nice and
love it.
decorated flats, very, very nice. They are rented via Airbnb.
Hmm.
So we had a first approach of to see these 2 years because the company is quite new, these 2 years performance, and we compare reservations in 2023, 2024, and we can see that 2024 outperformed 2023, except in
Hmm.
1 month that you can see here. And what happened here? Taylor Swift gave concerts in Buenos Aires. So it was explosion of demand of flats. There was nothing to rent. It was incredible. Well,
Yeah.
so but generally speaking, the performance this year is quite better than the previous year. Another thing that we analyzed was the performance
Okay,
flat by flat.
I'm gonna stop you right there. So again, that
Yeah.
structure is simple,
Yes,
but it's powerful, right? So
yes,
let's start with the teaser. Let's start with so you did a little bit of that. So you gave me the context and love the photos. Like, yep, this company is doing Airbnb. So maybe that was good. Yeah. So you gave us go back to that sheet with the photos of the apartments.
Yes.
Yeah. So
They're
the company
nice.
or the client I'm working with, they manage these departments. They rent them through Airbnb. Love it. But then if that, and that's maybe that's good for teaser. But the next in the structure is PAR, problem action result. So I didn't
What,
hear a problem. It felt like you just dove in and started showing us Power BI. What
sorry?
was the problem? So it's PAR, problem action result. What was the
Ah, the
problem?
problem,
Yeah.
no, it's not a problem. We are using this as a tool to engage people, because our clients are the flat owners, and we need to show them how it works and what the
So so
profits are
so
from renting.
Dolores, what I'll say is there's always a problem,
Okay.
because if there's no problem, there's no work to be done. And there's
Well, but
definitely
we need,
nobody's
we
gonna
need,
pay somebody, right? There,
no,
yeah. So when we do work, it's to focus something.
okay,
So these flat owners, they have
yes,
some problem. It could be that
well,
my
yes.
occupancy rate is too low, or it could be something else. So
No, they
there
want to
has
know
to be a
where to
problem.
invest.
Yeah.
Okay, it is in the last one, and they want to know where to invest. They want to know
Bingo,
where.
bingo. Wait, but hold on. Right. So, that is the good stuff. Same with
Okay,
Ivan. I mean, he was skipping through and all this stuff. We brought it back. Say, hey, tell me the problem.
okay.
It's a
The flat
crucial part
owners,
in the story. So the problem is
we
that they want to know where to invest. Tell,
where
tell
to
me more. Like,
invest, which
like,
neighborhood, and which size.
whoa. So yeah, this problem needs to be, again, in that sequence, front and
Okay,
center. There's no
okay,
point in showing these graphs and walking me. This doesn't matter what that is,
okay.
and doesn't matter how pretty it is. Yeah, it starts with the problem.
And
So yeah,
how do I show the problem? How
well,
do we show?
you can just talk about it. Frankly, you could even speak it
Okay,
at the place
okay,
where you have the photos of the apartments. So go back to the
okay,
photo,
okay,
right?
okay. I go back to the
Yeah.
photos, and
So yeah,
I tell that this is a tool the owner of the company is going to use to engage new clients, because they are eager to invest their money, but they don't know where to invest, in which neighborhood, which size of flat. They are always asking, what is better, a studio or a 5 rooms flat? And where do I invest? In Palermo, in Recoleta, in which neighborhood? So we are
ah, beautiful,
giving giving them some information about what we have already done and what are the prospects for them. So here is a bit,
beautiful. But hold on. So
a bit,
there's so much goodness there. Maybe you
okay,
can add a little bit. So again, some of it is art, some of it is science. So what you did perfectly.
okay,
Yeah, you problem nailed it. But I say,
okay,
so I don't know. Maybe if you use the word money. So what I'm thinking is, imagine if you said at the end of it. So yeah, folks, and
yeah,
I'm sure you can relate. Maybe you're not into real estate, but maybe you're investing your money in something. Maybe you're investing in stocks, or it doesn't matter
yeah,
where. You want to make sure you get a good return on investment. It's all about that, isn't it? So that's what
yes,
we want to help with the clients. Make sure that they're not going to suffer a loss. They're not putting the money out of drain, that they're actually going to get a great return on investment. How can we guide them there? Can Power BI help us there? So again,
okay,
just that money factor and the return. And sometimes, oh, by the way, this is a fun experiment. Somebody actually did this. You call people, let's say, at the middle of the night, and say,
yes,
hey, I have a way for you to earn $1,000. They're gonna swear at you and hang up the phone. I say, man, why do you call me in the middle of the night? Right? Most people do that. But now you change it and you say, oh, hey, there's a problem with something in your accounts, and you're gonna lose $1,000. They're gonna say, "Oh man, thank you. Yeah, how can I fix it?
no,
How can I avoid it?" Right? Yeah. So sometimes the loss is scarier for us than earning. And if you notice, when I was talking about this, I did talk about that, right? So I said, you don't want to lose your money, right? I mean, you may be investing in life savings. This may be your retirement nest egg. You don't want to lose all of that, right? Or whatever it is, right? So again, I mean, I'm just making it up. I don't know specifically your industry, but yeah. So yeah, you can sometimes talk about things in two ways. One in terms of the gain you can get, return on investment, or
Okay.
others like loss. And loss really resonates with people. That's a great way when you're talking about problem. Talk about gain. That's okay, but also talk about loss. And in a way, I did the same thing with Ivan. We said, dude, if you don't figure out the efficiency of your manufacturing plant, your competitor is going to outcompete you. You're going to be out of business. That's loss, right? So yeah, if you can to trigger a little bit of that. So again, folks, so this is a bit of an advanced
So,
trick, but Dolores seems
so,
really ready for that, so I wanted to share that.
so should I focus on those investors and ask them and tell them that there is an opportunity for investment here, and that I'm going to show them the pros and cons of this?
Yeah. So maybe what you can say is that so our goal was with can we use data and Power BI to guide people on where to invest, like which neighborhoods, which specific properties? Can we help them with that? And can we help them avoid the bad ones? Can we let them know, hey, don't invest in this neighborhood, or yep, this neighborhood is great, but this property isn't great because of these factors, so you might lose your money, right? So yeah, you've done kind
Okay.
of both these things, yeah. But hey, the way you said it
Okay.
was awesome. But Dolores, man, you got a different level of energy, and and yeah, I can. So I'm pushing you harder than I would probably anybody else, just because you have that, right? So with this idea in mind, maybe you can kick it up a notch. So that's great. I think problem you're gonna nail it. But again, it's important. Don't dismiss it. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking about your word. I don't know. Initially, yeah. So problem is really important. So make sure after the teaser, after
Well,
the
how would
one
you say
page
it?
with the photos.
How do you say? How do you would you present my?
So are you using a PowerPoint slide or just
No,
do Power BI?
no,
Perfect. So here's what I will do. Have you used bookmarks in Power BI?
no.
Okay, cool. Go back to
But
the
I
page with the
can
photos.
learn. I can learn to do it in 1 week.
Yes, you can. Yeah, go back to the page with the photos
Yes.
and duplicate that for me.
I don't know where the bookmark marks are.
No, forget about the bookmarks. Just duplicate this page for me.
Duplicate. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Nice. Delete maybe like three of the photos. Make some space here.
Uh,
Delete the bottom ones. We'll put text there.
the bottom ones.
Yep, yeah,
Uh, remove.
yep,
Remove. One
yep,
more.
yeah. That one. Yep, perfect. And now copy the operaciones. Make like three
Yes.
copies of it.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah, if you click on it, if you go to top
And
left in the toolbar,
top
in the
left.
the yeah, where it says file home insert right at the very top. So make sure it's selected. Yeah, you got to select operaciones. You got to click on that. Just
Uh,
click around the text, not the dots. Yep, yeah,
yeah.
click there. Perfect. Now look at the top left where it says file home, file home. No, yeah,
Yes.
there. Below that,
Oh,
nope,
no.
too far. You see the
Ah.
copy button right there. Yep, perfect.
Here.
Yep, yeah.
Ah.
Copy,
Copy.
paste. Yep. And then same toolbar. Yep,
Okay.
perfect. And paste it one more
Okay.
time. Perfect. So you got three copies. Yeah, move them around a bit. I think it's copying. So yeah, so
And over the
yep,
other.
perfect. So you
Yes.
can uh, now use this as PowerPoint. So
What?
yeah, you know how PowerPoint has bullet points, right? So you can so I'll show go back. So initially the page with the photos, that'll be
Yeah.
kind of the context in a way, right? So you will
Uh,
say that, hey. we're helping companies who work with these investors who are looking to invest in these rental properties, uh, something like that. Sorry, I messed it up, but you did great in that, right? So you say that, and then you go to that next slide, which has some bullet points. So the
Where was
first,
it? I don't know where it
uh,
went.
probably at the very end. Yeah, that's kind of silly with
Yes.
Power BI. Yeah, you might have to move it, but yeah. So one point can say that maybe it just says two things: invest in the right property at the right location versus invest. So yeah, so one text says that, and right, you'll edit it: invest in the right property, the right location, and the one below that says invest in the wrong property at the wrong location.
Ah,
Yeah, so again, you're kind of using it like a PowerPoint, right? So
good.
the key with using PowerPoint or using Power BI as PowerPoint is not to put everything on the slide. There is enough, but then you get to speak about it, right? So yeah, so that's kind of enough. Invest in the right property at the right property, the right location. Invest in the wrong property in the wrong location. So
Shall I
so yeah,
write
and
both things?
yep. And then you can say exactly the things we were discussing. So you'll say, "Yep, folks. So that's the goal. I mean, that's who we are helping. We're helping
Ah,
these
okay.
people invest in properties, but this is what we're trying to do. This is what we're trying to help them with. Can we use Power BI? Can we use data to guide this decision?
Okay.
Just buying right property, the right location. It sounds simple, but there are a lot of factors, as you're going to see in my presentation. And of course, if you don't get this right, then you might end up with the wrong property, the wrong location, and might end up losing. Who knows? This is maybe a retirement saving. This is maybe, yeah, whatever, something like that, right? So again, you talk about that. So that's it. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, you can talk about that. Awesome. So this is good. Uh, cool. And then, so once you have established kind of that teaser, kind of the intro, the context, and now you have talked to them about the problem we're trying to solve, now walk me
Okay.
through the presentation.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, here I have got a
Yep, so you
change
walked me
in
through this. Yep. And
reservations,
yeah, so
which we
we
have
can
seen.
see year over
These are
year.
these are examples of flats, of different flats in different neighborhoods. Who just
Lovely.
as
Yeah. And
and the days they have been booked with a
so these are different flats you're selecting, right?
different flats.
Got it. And it's
This was
showing me month by month.
month by month.
Sorry, I mean, so I don't know, some maybe do some explanation in English. You don't have to translate the Power BI,
Okay,
but so because I was having to guess, like I looked at that and like enero,
okay.
febrero, yeah, looks
This
like month, but yeah,
the
might as well tell
dias
them, yeah. Mhm.
January days in the month 31, and they occupy days 30.
Perfect, bingo,
February
yep, yeah, yeah. So help
days
them
in the
out, yeah.
month 29, days occupy 26, and so. And
Beautiful,
the
beautiful.
average of occupation is
Ah,
24 days for this flat.
look at that. So you can look
Okay.
apartment by apartment, get all the detail.
Yes.
Loving it.
This is, well, a look at when the reservations begin, which is Monday. It's Friday, sorry, Friday. They begin on Friday usually, and they end on Sunday. So they are short leases for the weekend.
Great, great, great.
And they
So
are
yeah, so
made
you
of the,
might have to again, I mean, so use the focus mode. I call it the pop out mode, but the one we covered with
okay,
Ivan. So maybe you go to
okay,
the first one and pop it out. So yeah, the
okay.
no hover no go to the left. No, no, don't, not in the three dots. The icon with the arrow. Yeah, go back to that one. Yep.
Yes.
And now next to the three dots, you see the icon with an
Ah,
arrow.
yes, 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 yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes, that's the focus mode. Yep. So
These
so you
are
say this is showing us the
This is
date
showing us
occupancy
which
start.
days the
Bingo.
reservations begin. They begin on Friday.
Perfect.
I can translate everything.
Perfect.
They
Perfect.
begin
And
on
you can see the
Friday,
Friday is the most popular. Yeah. So this is great, right?
Wednesday, Thursday,
Got it. So the
and
top one is Friday. Yep. And then you go back and then you say this
they
is showing us when it ends, and it usually ends on Sunday. And
and
yeah,
then
I mean,
well, yes, and they end on da
yeah,
da da
but
da.
again,
They are
when you go to the second one, maybe pop it
Yes.
out. Maybe go into focus mode. So second one is when it ends, right?
When it ends,
Terminan.
I don't know where the square is. Where is it?
So the
Ah, there.
terminan, so
The
what is
end.
this one?
The end. No, this
What
is
was
not
the
when it
graph in
ends.
the middle?
Yes, this one.
Yeah, so you gotta click on that one and then focus
Ah,
mode. Yep.
okay, okay, okay. But it is not a square there. I
So
don't know where it
sometimes
is.
it's at the top, sometimes at the bottom. It's going to be next to the
You're
three
right.
dots. Yep,
Yes.
perfect.
So
Okay,
the ending day is Sunday or Monday.
perfect. Great. This is good
Okay.
stuff.
So
So
they are most of them are weekend reservations. Weekend
love it.
reservations.
I mean, it's one thing to kind
And
of
the
yeah.
reservations are made on Wednesdays. I don't know why.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Most
Oh,
of
this
the
is so
may,
good.
maybe the people is bored and they begin scrolling and looking
But
for
can
holidays
you
and they,
imagine how powerful this is, Dolores? Because
oh,
man, I mean,
wow.
I know uh I don't know whether your clients are doing it, but I know a lot of Airbnb owners, and they invest a fair amount in advertising. This
Ah,
tells them to freaking advertise on Wednesday, right? This is
okay.
mind blowing. This is really good stuff. Maybe you can even mention
Okay.
that. So, hey, folks, if you want to reach, maybe some of these have email lists of past clients.
Okay.
So, how do you market? How do you sell? How do I market? How do I sell?
I don't.
Well,
Okay.
there's email list and there's advertising, right? And there's social media posts. Three things: social media
Okay.
posts, email, advertising. So, folks, now that you see this, now that you know that people mostly travel on weekends and they decided on Wednesday, well, you can make sure you send a nice email to your email list Wednesday morning. Say, hey, folks, we have these properties available right now. This weekend, plan your getaway. Boom, right? Or do a social
Okay.
post or run ads on that day. How much more money can you make with this? Oh my
Okay.
God. Like, dude, I wish
Okay.
I was an Airbnb owner and looking at my data like this. It was awesome, man. Good stuff. Loving it.
Okay. Well, here I made I don't know the numbers, the figures with this is the rent collection, the rents. This
Okay.
is our earning as a
Yeah.
commission, and this one is what we get for the cleaning of the flats, which is separate earning.
What you have to pay or what you get?
We get money from the owners of the flats. We collect some money for taking care of the cleaning.
Got
We
it.
take care
Got
of
it.
the cleaning, but it hasn't resulted in a
Congrats.
very good business. So we are considering selling that part. That's why we made another
Hold on,
analysis.
no, no, go back, go back, go back. So
Huh?
this is man, I'm loving this data. So folks,
Because
sometimes some people have an unfair advantage, right? Because sometimes, like if I'm working with a metal recycling client, if I start talking about that stuff, people will get bits and pieces of it, but some may not, because some things that they do is very industry specific. But Airbnb is like almost everybody knows, everybody cares, everybody does travel. So
yes,
might as well talk about like the peak in November. Just point it out, just call it out. So maybe even in July, right? So you say, so you say that, hey, you can see July is a peak travel month. Maybe that's holidays, summer, people are getting away, and of
yes,
course
it's
November is a big one. And I'm actually really surprised because in the US December is off the charts, but
um,
here it seems November is a big month. I'm a little curious about that. Would you know?
no
I
for
mean,
in
here of
terms
course it coincides with school holidays. That's big. So schools are closed for us. Like,
our holidays in Argentina are in January, but I don't think people rent by
yeah.
Airbnb in
That is
Argentina.
this is
We're not
fascinating
used to
though. I mean, I would never have guessed. Frankly, now I sound ignorant, but to me I mean, I would have thought that the whole world travels like we do, which I know sounds silly now because
that.
US December is off the charts. It's just totally off the charts. All right, good stuff. So let's maybe go a little bit quicker on the rest. I mean, you
Yes,
already
yes.
have a
I
lot of
made
stuff and good stuff. Yeah.
a top 10 of rentings, commissions, and
So these are like the
cleanings. to,
specific apartments.
yes,
Top 10. Yeah, 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 got it, got it,
to
got it.
know which month or which area is better, just
Yeah, but
that.
top 10 based
And
on what? Based on dollars?
based on dollars, yes.
Perfect. Make,
Uh,
make sure to say that. Why doesn't it
okay.
have column headers? Like
Column
it's
head. Ah, okay. Column headers.
yeah. I mean, if
Okay.
it's just said there, I mean, I seen numbers, but initially I wasn't sure. Is that part of the address? Then I looked more carefully, and
Okay.
I'm like, yeah. I mean, oh shoot, that looks like money.
Okay.
Might as well put the column headers there. Yeah, but good stuff.
Okay. And then for the end, uh, which is I think most interesting, that is the average income for us and the rent, average rent
All right.
for each neighborhood and for each month. So, for example, and the average. So, if you want to see, for example, the best, for example, this
Yeah.
Cañitas has got very high grades, but it hasn't been rented the whole year. So
Ooh,
maybe it
wow.
is better. Palermo is the classic one for tourists, and
Awesome. Make sure you show this one. I mean, this
and
one is
and
awesome. Yeah.
Recoleta is the posh neighborhood in Buenos Aires.
Got it. Got
So
it.
here the
Okay.
rents are
So,
higher.
so Dolores, so I'll say that I like this story where you showed one neighborhood and you said, "Hey, look, the rents are high, but it doesn't rent the whole year." And then you showed the other one.
Claro.
This is a great story. And the one where that people mostly book on Wednesdays, they travel on the weekends, they book on Wednesdays is a great story. Make sure
Okay.
to hit those. So you might have to manage time because there's a lot of stuff. And
Okay.
what I say is that again, less is more.
Okay.
If you're getting the feeling that, oh, I need to present everything, oh, I wasn't able to present everything, you're totally missing the boat, because the
Okay.
same thing is going to happen in an interview. We feel like we need to vomit out all of our accomplishments and all of
Okay.
that stuff.
Okay.
It
Okay.
doesn't work that way. Again, people are more emotional.
Okay.
You gotta tell them a story. It's not about the volume. It's like, oh,
Okay.
I do this, I do this, right? So
I could
make
take this
sure.
out. I could
Make
hide this
no,
one
no,
because it.
hold on, don't hide it yet. So what I'll say is make
Okay.
sure you hit those stories. Maybe you hit them first, right? And then
Okay.
based on how time is doing, you can click through some of those sheets, but you can do them really quickly. So hey guys, I mean, obviously we did a lot more work, a lot more analysis. I mean, and then you can do it in like click, 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 right? You can say, hey, we analyzed the top 10 houses, we looked at year-over-year comparison, we did this, we did that, right? I mean, you can do that in like 30 seconds or a minute. You can just walk through. You're not explaining, you're just saying, yeah, we did this, we did this. I've seen one of our members, Eamon Kelly, do that for finance. He will show one report kind of in details, like, hey, da da da. And then he'll say, well, but we also did the P&L, we did the balance ledger, we did the cash flow and all that. And you take 30 seconds. So now people know that there's more, but you don't have to cover all of it. Uh,
Okay.
that sounds good. All right, cool. So problem, action, result, I think is obvious, but you should restate the result. And in a way, the result is in you. I don't know if in every case, but in your case, is not more different than the problem. In fact, you can even go back to that slide. So go back to the slide that we had about make money, lose money. Sorry, I forgot the language we were using. Yep, this
To
one.
this one.
Yeah, so results, you can come back to this. And you say, so folks,
Ah.
yep,
Okay.
you've seen the analysis. And as I said, this is the goal. Make sure you don't lose your money. Make sure you invest money in the right
Okay.
spot. That's
Okay.
it. And
Okay.
frankly, man, sometimes you don't have to say more. You don't have to elaborate. I think for you, it's so clear. And money is, I love working with sales teams because they're always dealing with money. And money is like tangible. It's simple. Everybody kind of gets it. So I don't think you have to say more. And so again, so remember the structure we're trying to do, right? So brief
Okay.
intro, teaser hook, PAR, problem, action, result. So we talked about the problem. We started here. You do the action, which is you show the graph, tell the stories, the Wednesday one, Palermo one, and so forth. And then result, PAR, you bring back here and say, guys, this is the result. I mean, you can see, I mean, and you don't even have to say it. I mean, looking at an analysis, it's clear that they're going to be so much better informed to do this, to get this result. So this is awesome. This is awesome. And last one is going to be, do you remember what the last thing is?
What?
The clear call to action. That is simply you want to ask people to connect with you. Now, I was talking about LinkedIn. You should put probably LinkedIn and your email, both. Just in case somebody's not active on LinkedIn. So yeah, put
Okay.
your link. So yeah, so make sure you have a slide or a sheet here with an stick a nice photo of yours, and again, uh, up to you. It can be a professional looking photo, or like if I mention hiking, I can put a hiking photo. You know what? Doesn't matter. Yeah, just put put some photo on that page and put your LinkedIn URL there and put your email address, and you're good to go. So I say, hey, folks. And by the way, soft call to actions are better, I think, than hard call to actions. A hard call to action is that if you need consulting help, contact me. If
Uh-huh.
you're an Airbnb owner and you need help analyzing this in your area, contact me. That's a hard call to action. I mean, it's okay, but it just doesn't work that well in my experience. I think a softer one works nice. So a softer one is, hey, I mean, I you've seen this stuff. I've been in this industry for a while. I really understand it, and I love talking to people about it and Power BI. So yeah, here I am. Reach out to me on LinkedIn. Reach out to me via email. We'd love to just chat if you're open to that. Something like that. So that's a softer call to action. Cool. Good stuff. Good stuff,
I don't
Dolores.
know how to stop sharing. I'm still sharing? Yes.
You click the share button again, I think.
Um,
Yeah, I can take care of that too
okay,
on my
please.
end. Yeah. All right, folks. So let's see. What do we got? Oh, sorry, Ivan. I didn't see you there. Apologies for that. Really
I,
sorry. I think okay. Ivan is on. Okay,
I don't know where.
Dolores.
Okay.
All
Perfect.
right.
Thank you.
Okay. So we have Eric and Luis. Eric, let's have you go next. I- Again, folks, if
All
you need to
right.
drop off, appreciate it. Just make sure you practice the same things with the accountability partner. But Eric, if you're able to stay, go ahead, share your screen, and we'll cover some.
Yes, I'm not only able to stay, but I have all my time. I don't know if Louise in a rush, so that if she is, like, she can go before me because I have all my time.
Luis, up to you.
Good. All right. Okay. Thank you. So
Actually,
good evening
hold on.
once
Let me
again.
make
Yeah.
sure. So, Luis, I mean, up to you. The offer is there. If you want, you can go first. If you uh, that would let you leave early, possibly, or go after Eric.
It's okay. It's okay.
You guys are too kind, man. I want more
Mm.
people like this amazing group. Yeah, man. I mean, seriously, I've said it twice, but yeah, you guys are amazing. All right, Eric, go for it. Yeah.
Thank you, Evie. Thank you, everybody. Uh, I'm Eric. I'm Congolese from the DRC, but I live in South Africa. I've been living in South Africa. It's been over 10 years
All
now.
right.
And right now, I work in a company in the department of support. I can't really mention it, but yeah. But if I'm not at work and when I'm at home, every morning I'm never in bed at 6 o'clock unless it's raining because 6 o'clock I'm gone. I love jogging. My friend tease me. I always strive to do, I don't know, sometimes 5, 10, if I'm in good shape, 15 kilometers, 3 or 4 times a week. So those are the things that I love doing. I love music. I love cycling. I love reading. And talking about reading, you mentioned this book. So I ran to go and get it.
Which
You
book
know.
is that?
Yeah.
Start with the why. Simon
So,
Sinek. Yeah.
Simon
Okay, okay,
Sinek.
okay.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
Take
I
notice of.
mean,
yeah,
and yeah. I
yeah.
love
So
that guy, Simon
beautiful
Sinek.
read.
That's great. Can't
I
believe you
love
had it next to you.
him.
So, Eric, man, I mean, I'm blown away. So, were you sharing your screen? If you were not, that's okay.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So,
Second.
folks, comparison is a very interesting thing. Initially, when I talked about don't compare yourself, that wasn't 100% accurate, right? What I meant to say was don't compare the way people usually compare, which is to beat yourself up. That's me. That's how I compare. Uh, Maybe 95% of the time. Now a little bit better. Where I would see something and I'm like, oh, yeah, but I'm not that. I'm not that smart. I'm not that good, right? Don't do that. There is actually another way of comparison, which I don't know. Nobody. This should be taught in schools. People should be talked about that. Hey guys, this is gonna happen. You're gonna end up comparing yourself. There are two ways of comparing. This is bad. This is good. Do it the good way. The good way to compare is to see it as an example of what is possible. And Eric just demonstrated that with his amazing intro. I was like, what is this? He took you on a ride. I mean, oh man, Eric, that was really good. The way he set it up
Thank
was
you.
like something about me. I don't know what the exact words were, but he spoke so well. And he said, I'm not in my bed at 6 a.m. Eric, mate, you are at another level. So even for me, you're definitely an inspiration of, again, so this is a good way of comparing. It's like, hey, what is possible? Yeah. I want to be like Eric one day. I want to be able to do a cool intro like that. My own version, of course. I mean, yeah, copy paste is not as much fun. But yeah, so the way he did it was, I'm not in my bed at 6 a.m. Now, what that does, he's not actually telling me. He could have said, I go jogging in the morning. That's okay. That would have been good too. But no, he took it to the next level. He added some intrigue there. He left us a little hanging. Like, now I'm interested. Now I'm a little perked up. I'm like, oh shit, that's interesting. I mean, for one, I already know he wakes up at 6 a.m., so there's some discipline. I kind of anticipating something. And folks, they use these tricks in movies. So a lot of the storytelling stuff comes from Hollywood writers, and they use this. They want to build anticipation. And that's what Eric did. Beautiful. Like such a small segment, but again, it just sets the stage. And now, if that emotional part of me is like, I kind of like this guy. I mean, I'm a little interested. The rest of the presentation is going to go well because again, it's the emotional, not the logical one. Awesome, man. So you nailed the intro. Let's walk through the rest of the structure. So we want a teaser at the beginning, and then we'll walk through the problem, action, results. So teaser is kind of the setup that it would include the context a little bit. Uh, uh, yeah. So just keep going through what's coming next after the intro.
Thank you. So ultimately, we're gonna come back to this board and this one,
So we're
and
looking at the
which
Power
I'm gonna
Query.
explain at the yeah, it's Power BI actually. I know I was in Power Query. Now it should be in Power BI. I don't know if you're seeing my Power BI.
Yeah, I don't know. Something is not working with the screen share because it's stuck at the Power Query. When you shared your
Okay,
screen, there would be three
let
options.
me share everything.
Yeah. Chrome
Yeah,
tab, window, or entire screen. Yeah, I
entire
wish that was
screen.
the
Okay,
default. Yeah, entire screen. Yeah, try that.
yeah, entire screen. Now,
Okay, so now, yeah,
can you see
perfect.
the
Now we see the
screen?
dashboard. Yep, great.
Oh yeah.
Looks
All
good.
right. So
Yep,
this is my
beautiful
dashboard.
dashboard. The donut
Ultimately,
chart,
we're
pie
gonna
chart.
come back to this one. Yes, we're
Mm-hmm.
gonna come back to this one. But before, I want to give the context of why we got to this. So it's gonna be some type of the PR part, which in my case was not really a problem because what I decided to do was to do business segmentation of from a data file that I had gotten from my accountability partner, who unfortunately could not make it tonight.
Mm.
So I got a set of data that has record of sales that have been done in a company over a
Mm.
period of 4 years. That means starting from 2012 to 2016, if I'm not mistaken. So it
Mm.
came in it was one file. All right,
Mm-hmm.
this was it. And so upon
Yeah.
exporting it, just for the sake of readability and to help me just understand what I'm doing, because I'm not yet at that level where I'm consider myself as very knowledgeable. What I did, I took this very file, the one that is named main. What I did,
Mm-hmm.
I cut it into small segments. As you can see, the
Mm.
main file has a lot of columns because everything
Yeah.
is in here, like the order ID, the dates, and even the customer details, and everything that this work is going to be based on was in that file. So what I did is I took it and I cut it into portions, and each portion, which became a table, served a purpose. Like
Hmm.
I took specific columns that were relevant and placed them in this table that I called the order table, where you can see an order ID and order dates and the shipment of that date and the customer, product and
Yeah.
so forth, those kind of stuff.
Lovely.
And then I took the same concept, applied it in the another time where I created a table that I called shipment. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, where I have the order ID and the day the shipment was done, and the mode of I mean the classification depending on the price. Yeah,
Hmm.
basically. And then here I called it buyer, but basically the client table where you have the customer
Hmm.
ID, his name, the type of client that he is. Is it a consumer? Is it a corporate? And then here you've got the customer um, details such as city, state, country, and countries fall under regions, and regions also under markets. So I try to do that kind of specification. I did the same for product.
Hmm.
Well. And then finally, I created one calendar table that allows me to be able to do segmentation of whatever is that I want to look at in terms of month, in terms of years, in terms of multiple years and stuff. So this is the calendar year. And then
Love it.
ultimately, I have a measure table that I created in which I placed several measures that I'm using, that I use in this dashboard. All right. I
Okay.
don't know if so. That
Okay.
was the
So
problem. The problem was
So
the
sorry to interrupt, Eric. More a note. I should have mentioned it earlier. So, folks,
yes,
when one person is presenting, I might turn off other people's cameras. Now,
Okay.
unfortunately, in this platform, if I turn off your camera, I also turn off your audio. I can't hear you.
Okay.
Just watch out for that. But you have the private chat. Hopefully, everybody has. Make sure to find the chat is next to the microphone button. So if you're not on screen, then you can use the chat. Yeah, so the way it's going to look like, I'm going to turn off some of the cameras. And when
Please.
somebody is presenting, I got it. I got it. How do I? Yeah, it's going to look like this with the just the Eric and his screen. And most likely I'll you go back to Power BI, Eric. Oh,
yes,
yeah, you were trying to you're trying to see. Sorry.
yes,
Well, others can see at least. Okay, but you don't have to. Presenter doesn't have to worry about it. I just want others to know. And one more ninja tip. Eric, notice the message here. It's saying Studio Restream is sharing your screen. Stop sharing and hide.
yes. That one. Yes. Okay, I see
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Might as well click hide on that one.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, because it obscures the
Yeah.
screen a little
Yeah.
bit, and it just yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't do
Yeah.
anything.
Yeah.
All right, man. Keep going. Oh, by the way, folks. So what you can do is when you're not speaking, if you turn off your own camera using the video toggle button, as I have, then I wouldn't have to remove you. So maybe you guys can try that. So whoever is not speaking, Dolores, let's have you try it. So right now you can see we can see Dolores on the screen, but Dolores just so yeah, just turn off your camera.
How I don't know how to do it.
Just click the camera button next to the microphone. Should be the second
Yes, but
button from the left.
it's not an option to turn it off.
No, don't click on the arrow. Just click on the actual the button. So yeah, if you click the arrow, it's
Okay,
perfect.
okay.
Nailed it. Awesome, awesome. Good, good, good. Oh well, you can't see me. All right. So yeah. So if you turn the cameras off, that's good. And then often I'll come in when during the introduction and during that, and I'll cue the next person up. You turn your camera on. Good to go. It'll be
Okay.
fine. It'll be great. You guys will be great. Um. All right, Eric, keep going, my friend.
Yeah. Thank you. So my aim here was to dissect, to give the possibility to, I'm considering as if I'm doing a presentation to high level management of what the business has been over that period from 2012 to 2016. So I strive really to give them the possibility to have data in a condition where it is as actionable as it can possibly be, which is why you can see I have a sheet here that I call sales. In this sheet, I mainly focused on the sales per se, using different labels, and then I'm gonna come back to it. But you can see here also, I tried also to do a customer segmentation in this sheet whereby I did a presentation based on demography to see, okay, where is who from and how much are people from somewhere bought over what type of period and so forth.
Yeah.
Here, it's something that I'm gonna strive to push to, my idea here. I don't have that knowledge yet, but I'm challenging myself to do it. I want to just display a little bit information about the shipping to see how much, how many of the shipping or what portion of the shipping, for instance, was done over the weekend compared to the total, so that we can see the weekend shipment amount to which percentage of the total sales and those kind of things, in terms of cost, what was the highest cost of shipping per order, for instance, like, so that we can see if we can maybe try to amend the cost and those kind of things. It's a second level project that I have the desire to do, but not yet the knowledge. So yeah. Coming back to the sales. So here, basically what I did is on top here, you have these three labels that they give like an overview of what the total volume of business has been in this company over the 4 years. Here, it's the total revenue based on the sales here. The sales table, which is the order table. So what I did in order for me to get this information is I created a measure, that compiles or that sums up everything in terms of sales that was made from 2012 to 2016. Now, here is the total number of orders that were made during that period of time. So I added a slice. This slice basically allows anybody who uses to try to see what were the sales specifically like in 2012. If you click 2012, it's going to change. It tells you what was the total revenue and the shipment cost, and then the total number of orders, and it's gonna even tell you what was the amount of revenue per year per month. Okay, you can see it in this graph. Even the total number of orders, that type of stuff. You can do it. You can do the same thing for 2013 if you want to do, for instance, some type of specific comparison, or you want to do 2013 and 2015 combined. You can just do that. This is a combination of these 2 years. If you want to see the trend, if you want to get some type of information about that, you can do that. As well as you can come and just click by category, because the items that are being sold are grouped in categories. There are office, there's technology, and there's furniture. You can come, this dashboard is very flexible. You can come and click, for instance, on supplies and see what the supplies were like. You can see the amount to this. You can say, for instance, supply for 2012 only. It's going to give you, it was 3 million, it was this much, yeah. Sorry, I'm kind of, I've never done a presentation, so I'm learning. That's why it could be that I'm freaking up a little bit. So
you're doing good.
Thank you. Here, I created a matrix, which is a table that displays the 10 most selling products by revenue. So if, for instance, I come back to here, click 2015, you can see it was this on executive ladder that sold the most. But I can go even further and say, okay, I don't want to see it for the entire dashboard. I want to see it only for furnitures. Then I can come and
Mm-hmm.
click here. Then I'm going to
Yep.
have that, okay, it's still in that category. I can want
Ooh,
and
yeah, I can
change
click
it,
something else. Awesome.
technology. I get Apple's, iPhones. I may
Lovely.
want to see for technology and office supply. So I'm going to select both, and have it that way. So yeah, this is the level of flexibility that I wanted to provide to anybody who's going to be using this dashboard at the sales level. And it is the same concept that I tried to emulate here on the buyer's sheet. Here I have the total number of buyers,
Okay.
and
So I think that's good. So we kind of got that sales, great sheet, good presentation, got the
okay.
buyers. Let's kind of fast forward it a bit. So you go
Mhm.
through this. Yeah. How are you kind of closing once you show them kind of the Power BI? What are you doing next?
Yeah, in terms of recommendation based on what the dashboard is that one.
What are you going to be talking to them? So imagine you showed buyers, right? You've shown what you need to show in Power BI, and then what? So if you go back to the structure was the main structure is a problem action result, right? So this was essentially covering a lot of action, like the work that you did. So in
Mhm.
that structure, what comes next is kind of the result. Uh, yeah, and I know in this case you didn't have a real client, right? There was nobody you were going back
Yes.
and forth with, so you would have to make up some result, right? Which is
Yeah.
okay, which is absolutely okay,
Mhm.
right? And it
Mhm.
could be something simple as that. Uh, Well, actually, you know what? So let's. Is it okay if I go into feedback mode?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Please.
All right, folks. So Eric is good. Man, actually, dude, I don't know. I mean, you said you never presented it. Is that what you said?
No.
Well, but man, I think you did really good. I can't believe it. And maybe have you done anything else which is like storytelling? Or sometimes people don't think they're telling stories, but I don't know. Like my brother, he
I
was
have
always
two daughters, so you have to be good at telling stories. When two daughters,
yeah,
always
yeah,
they
yeah.
want to
So
hear
the
something.
intro is so natural, but the rest
Thank
of the
you.
stuff, I want you
Mhm.
to make it better, right? Because again, I mean that's it's kind of like going to the gym, right? I mean, you go in there, you start lifting 5 pounds, but man, I
Mhm.
mean, once I see that, dude, you can lift 5 pounds, I want to push you. Hey, can you lift 7.5? Can you lift 10? That's my goal as a coach, right? Now you have to do the hard work. I can't do it, but all right. So yeah, but I'm gonna guide you. So guys, this is for everybody. Theory is often easy. Sometimes people take my Power BI course and they ask for money back. It's like, Avi, I mean, this such a small course. I'm done. You know, yeah, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know what they're looking for. Like, would it be better if I created an 80-hour course? If I can teach you what you need to learn in 10 hours, isn't that better than learning that in 80 hours? But I don't know, right? So they're like, yeah, so but it's not about the theory. It's about application. That's where people get stuck. That's why we do the live Q&A calls, right? We had one yesterday. It's like theory is just theory. Theory helps nobody. When you practice it, when you apply it, that's when you help somebody. This is practice. And practice, you're going to get stuck. You're going to make mistakes. So the
Mhm.
theory is so easy, right? You all have probably seen the December training that I did. And I said, hey guys, here's the structure: problem, action, result. Practice is tricky. So, Eric, mate, I feel like you didn't do justice to the problem. And I think you might be getting tripped up because you don't have a real client. But again, you can just make it up because data problems are often universal. You got to start with a problem. So, tell me about that. So before you start showing anything in the dashboard, before you start talking about any graph, any chart, so you set the context a little bit. You got this business data. It's got order, shipment, buyers, something, sales data, orders data, right? So if you understand that, and you said it's for high level management, and you kind of hinted a little bit, you talked about actionable data, but if I were to ask you, what is the problem you're trying to solve? What would you say? And again, you can try to put yourself in the shoes of that senior manager, maybe the CEO or CEO, whatever, right? What is the problem that they have that this might solve?
Well, it could be the point that I missed maybe in the process of building this, because I wanted to have a presentation that gave light on what business was, and then I missed the point of saying, okay, it's good to understand the past, but what is it for? So I did not have a target per se to say what is that I'm trying to convey as message. I wanted to give it back like a
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
hindsight.
what would you say? Let's say you're redoing it, and right,
Yeah.
and you did the intro, and then you want to talk about like the T's and the problem. What would you say? What would you say is the problem that this would be trying to solve? Right. So problem, action, result. Action is meaningless if you haven't framed the problem. Like, you did a bunch of stuff. I don't know. Like it doesn't fit. Right. So again, right, in humans, we want to make connection. That's what our brain is doing. So again, it's more storytelling. So what is the problem? So we identified a person, which is good. So I'm a senior level manager. I'm running some kind of I'm selling this. This seems to be, I don't know, some kind of a B2B deal, because I see the orders are not that high, but the revenue is really high. So I don't know. I'm selling this B2B business. I'm selling these. So that's the person. What is the problem that this might solve? All the action that you talked about, you walk through this and sales and that. Well, what's the problem, right? That comes first. That always comes first, and that's very important. If you skip it, you lost them, right? It's gone. I mean, yeah, they're not gonna, yeah, they're not paying attention, they're not focused, they're not, it's not working, it's not getting in. So what is the problem? What is the problem for that senior manager that this might help them with, this might solve? It's simpler than you think, by the way. Yeah, I mean, once I say it, you'll go, yeah.
I would be speculating, So yeah, I would appreciate your input.
No, but take a guess, take a stab.
Yeah. What came to my mind through my mind, or when you were talking, could be like the goal could be to provide a system that guides or recommend, for instance, like a 10% growth every following month compared to the previous month revenue. If we can get in that type of setup, and yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's fair, yeah, and that can be right. And again, part of the challenge is, so again, don't be hard on yourself. Part of the challenge is simply because you didn't work with a real client, right? So that does make it a little bit weird. So that's why you have to kind of pretend and so forth, right? But since we're making it up, we can make up whatever we want. That's the advantage. The simplest is that people don't have visibility on their own business. That's true. And dude, I've seen small businesses like that. I've seen really big businesses like that. You would think that you would look at these billion-dollar companies and they have it all figured out. Bullshit. They often don't. They have no freaking idea. They have no freaking idea. They say, yeah, I mean, are we growing? How fast are we going? Are we dropping customers? Which products are we selling? Which are we not selling? Man, we have stocked this product for 10 years and it's barely sold. Why are we doing it? Why are we wasting money on that? Why is it in a warehouse? We should dump these products, and not just one product. There's 100 other products. What the heck are we doing? And man, look at these customers. We keep losing customers. We're spending so much on advertising to get new customers, but we're not doing enough to retain them. What's going on? But you know what? They can't be having any of this dialogue, because guess what? They don't have any of the data. They don't know. They just don't know. Right? So that's the most basic problem which a lot of businesses have. We don't know what's going on in our own business. Right? So that's the simplest one.
Yeah.
So you say, hey, we got this data from a company, and the goal was to build something so that senior management kind of knows where things are. How are things going in a company? And hey, everybody, I mean, you can count the money in the bank. That's the easiest stuff. The top line revenue is great, but that's useless if you don't have the next level detail. So yes, have both. Have the high level numbers, but then be able to dive in. That's our goal. So is that making sense? Can you see that, how that is
Yes.
valuable for senior management? Right? So
Yes.
again, we're just making it up. So that's a basic problem. And hey, it's a truth. I've worked with a lot of companies, small, big, all size. Even with big companies, sometimes They just don't have the visibility, right? They have no idea, right, about all the different things I said. So that could be one. Or I like what you said, and you can make it up, right? Uh, so I'm trying to see that. So I don't like lying. I don't think, yeah. So if you didn't have a real client, I don't want you to say that. Oh yeah, I have this client and they're based out of Houston, Virginia. Yeah. I mean that would be a little weird. But maybe let me see how you may say that. So you may say that, hey folks, so we got this data, and our goal was that how can we look at their sales and guide them on how to grow 10% year over year. Now, generally, your growth can come from two things: by either focusing on your products or focusing on your customers, or both. And that's what we're going to look at today. Does that make sense? Right. So the goal, problem, I mean, it is a problem in a way. It's like, hey, how does a company grow? Right. And maybe you can put a bit of a story. So again, just making it up, some of it. But what I noticed when you were showing those graphs is this company seems to have had a good growth. Maybe that can be the story. So the story can be that, hey, as you're going to see in this, I mean, this company has had good growth. But what's the biggest challenge with having fast growth? Well, people start expecting that, right? So your investors, shareholders, right? I mean, there's always something, right? Investors, shareholders, they're like, shit, you know, you got 20% growth. You grew 5% last year. I want you to grow more, right? Keep going. But if you have been growing fast, how do you keep pushing the boundary? Well, you can do that by getting smarter about it and using business intelligence to really focus on the products which are going to give you that big success, which is going to be your big selling products, and the customers who are going to be your big selling customers. If you don't have that visibility, you're going to really struggle to grow,
Okay.
right? Or have to pour in a lot of money uh, on advertising and things like that. But what you need to do is, instead of pouring money down the drain and advertising, which may or may not work, you optimize what you have right now. So again, just making it up on the fly. But again, you could do that, right? So we talked about two scenarios. One is generic, one is simple. Kind of applies to everybody. It's like, hey guys, some businesses are not open to admit it, but senior management, they don't have kind of that high level view of the whole business, and that's what we wanted to give them. So a senior manager, the owner of the company, the board, the executive team can come in and just look at the high level business and understand that, hey, what's going on, what's happening with revenue, which products are selling, which customers are selling. That's the goal. That's the problem we're trying to solve. If they don't have visibility, imagine, and analogies are great, by the way. So you're a storyteller. So imagine captain of a ship trying to steer the boat, right? And maybe they're trying to find America or India. Imagine that voyage. Yeah, maybe tell that story. So Vasco da Gama, when he set out to discover India, oh god, Columbus got lost. So maybe that's not a good story, right? But Vasco da Gama, I mean, imagine if he was trying to steer the ship, but he was blindfolded. How effective of a captain he would be. But that is the sad reality of a lot of senior management.
Yeah.
They're blindfolded. We want to take off the blindfolds. That's the problem we're trying to solve. All right, so that's kind of one generic. And of course, you saw a few different styles. There's no right or wrong. I mean, you can experiment with it, storytelling design, right? So that's one. The other one was specific example that you had. Is like, hey, it's a fast growing company already, but man, fast growth is challenging. I mean, once you've already been growing so fast, how do you keep repeating it? Because now the expectations are high and you got to meet it. Do it by going smarter instead of pouring money in advertising or something else, or uh, which may or may not work. Get smarter about what you already have. All right, so problem, right? So problem, folks, is important. Start with a problem. I noticed that some of you kind of skipped that, and I had to pull you back. Uh, it's like, again, that putting the horse before the cart. If you do it in the wrong order, it just doesn't work. And so if you skip the problem and you start talking about the Power BI dashboard, you can show me the most awesome dashboard, but it just wouldn't work because, again, it wouldn't get to my emotional brain. Problems, we all focus on problems. So problems, start with that. So yeah, take your pick. You can do the 10% thing. You can do the generic thing. You can use the captain of a ship story blindfolded or something else. That is good. And the
Yeah.
next thing, once you're walking through the slide, so when people are presenting to PowerPoint, one classic mistake is that they show up all the text on there. And I covered this in the December training and I showed an example, is that you
Mm,
show a page full of text and you're pretty
mm,
much reading through that. That's
mm.
boring. That is just boring. Yeah, there's no other way to say it. Uh, the Power BI version of that is that you show a dashboard and you walk me through element by element. Guys, you may not realize it, but that's I think that's beyond boring. That's like torturous, right? It just doesn't work. You don't have to do that. You don't need to do that. Again, be the storyteller. Tell a story. So one specific feedback here, which is that haven't really worked with clients. Like nobody looks at a data for like a 4-year period, unless something random. Everybody looks at it generally year over year. So is a specific year selected at this point? I think it's the 2015, right?
Yeah, 2015.
Yeah. So you want to kind of introduce it that way. So 2016, does 2016 have data? Maybe might as well select that one. So
No, not enough because
okay, okay,
I
great.
think
So
it
yeah,
ended somewhere at the beginning of it.
yeah.
So
So
yeah, maybe I
I'll
should just add it.
say add a page filter to maybe all pages and filter out the year 2016. Can you
Okay.
go ahead and do that? Try to do that right now.
Like the entire page,
I'll say all report, all pages.
the whole
Let's see.
report.
Yeah, filter on all pages. Yeah, so add the calendar uh, year over there. I think the one above. Yep, data. Perfect.
Calendar.
Yep, yep. Just drag it over. No, you need to drag it over to filter on all pages.
Um,
The bottom one. The bottom
yeah,
one. Yep, yep.
the
Perfect.
bottom.
On all pages. Yep. And up to you. You can do basic filtering and this uncheck 2016. Looks good.
S-
Oh, try select all and then uncheck
I'll uncheck
2016.
2016. Okay.
Yep, perfect. Boom, that's gone. That's great. Delete the one we added accidentally, the sum of year
The,
478K, the white. No, the on the dashboard we added accidentally the
oh yeah.
white
Okay.
blob, the 478. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't need
Uh,
that. Yeah, yeah. Okay,
mm-hmm,
perfect. So you start here
mm-hmm,
and then again don't guys, just don't do that. Don't walk element by element. It doesn't help
mm-hmm,
anybody. It's like reading a
mm-hmm.
bunch of text. Yeah, so let's
Okay.
focus on storytelling mode. Can you uncheck the technology? I think that was good storytelling, by the way. We'll come back to that. So yeah, so here uh, and I don't know if you intentionally did it, but this is what I call the power pattern. High level data at the top, trends, breakouts, detail. Were you intentionally following it?
You covered it in your tutorial, so I
Bingo,
was
bingo. Yeah,
following.
it's awesome. And again, I mean,
Yeah.
you can mention that or not. Yeah, yeah, it's up to you. So, but maybe you say that, hey, this is a classic power pattern. That's the best practice that we're following. So actually, you know what? Forget about that. So you can just say, so hey, so right now we have multiple years of data. We're looking at 2015. We can see high level numbers at the top, the revenue, the shipping cost, the orders, and then so go to the revenue by start month graph. Click on that one
Mm,
and go into the focus mode as we've been talking about. So you say, so yeah, practice it so that's it's quick enough. You can do it pretty quickly. So this graph shows you the revenue trend. As you can see, this is a fast growing company. Back to report,
mhm, yeah. Batch report.
right? And below we have the same trend for orders. Now you don't have to go
Yeah.
in the focus mode for that because again it's similar. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean
Mhm,
it would be a little bit boring. I mean they've already seen a graph like that, right? So
yeah.
we have that, and below we have a breakdown by category, and on the
Yes.
right we have the top selling products,
Yes.
and of course we can analyze it based on a specific month or a specific category. That's the awesomeness that's built into Power BI. And here you can do the click, like, so let's see which is the top selling product in technology. So go ahead, click on that, and we can see Apple phone orders. So right, so yeah, so this may take, I don't know, maybe, yeah, I mean, it didn't take long, right? So I didn't go into the detail, I didn't go element by element. uh but yeah, you don't have to mention, like you mentioned, I wrote a measure to do this. Yeah, I don't think you
Okay.
have a need for to do that.
Okay.
So you say this, and then maybe you say the Pareto principle. So you say, well, and this is important because you all know about the Pareto principle. It's going to be usually the 20% of your top products that are going to bring in 80% of the revenue. So it's really important to know which ones they are, so that you and really your whole team, your sales team, manufacturing team, supplying team, whatever, they can all focus on these ones. These are the ones that matter. That's it. Cool. This is a good story. And then you go to buyers. So buyers, maybe you do rename that sheet customers, because I'm seeing you are using customer ID, customer name, customer labeling.
Okay.
So yeah, so this will be, hey, customers. So again, products is important, so are customers, right? So and the same Pareto principle applies. So here we have a similar layout. Hi, so maybe what I'll say is, for consistency, again, I don't know. People generally don't look at multiple years unless they're seeing annual trends, but that's different. So instead of having that slider, use the same slicer that you have on the previous page
Okay.
with the
Okay.
buttons, and have it the same, click the same way, right? And of course, at some point you can kind of mention that, uh, yeah, okay. You know what? Let's focus on this. So let's do tile, perfect, right? And go ahead and click 2015. All right, great. So yeah, so you transition from sales to customers. So sales, you were ending talking about Pareto 80/20. So you will say, hey, same thing applies for customers. Click. And yeah, you got to focus on your top customers, be able to understand who are your best customers. So here we can have some high level numbers at the top. We can see the number of clients, the average spend. We can see the trend. And here we can focus on our top 5 customers. And on the right, so again, make your mouse bigger. So focus mode takes time. You have to find it, and sometimes it's very jarring. So sometimes you want to make your mouse really big so you can point to things, and change the color of the mouse as well. That'll make it really bright. So that way, when you're pointing to different elements, go ahead and do that as I'm talking. So say high level numbers at the top. So move your mouse to the number of clients, average spreading. No focus mode. The high level numbers at the top are the 17K and 1.32K.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah. So, but again, your mouse needs to be huge, as big as you can get, and
Okay.
colored. So you'll say, yep, high level numbers at the top, and then the so high level at the top, number of clients, average spending. You can see the trend, and you move that mouse along the graph, average spending. Yep. So yeah, you can just move that graph, move the mouse a little bit, go left to right. Yeah, kind of quickly.
Left to
Yep.
right.
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Yeah, that's how we think, right? Left to right. Yep. Right. And customers at the bottom, and you can maybe move your mouse in a circle around the top 25 customers to kind of point it, right? So just move it in like a big circle over this element. Yep. Yeah. Perfect. Right. So yeah. So you're just pointing it, and again, it only works with a bigger mouse. Otherwise, it's pointless.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You might as well, not do any of it. Right? And then you move your mouse to the right, and you're pointing and say, over here, this is really important because again, often it's segmented by markets or the type of customers. And different teams may be focused on different ones. So let's look at, and then you're going to click on something. So pick anyone from the market first. I think for this one, focus mode is not needed, because this one is all about interactivity. Yeah, this one is like, yep. So Africa. So yeah, let's look at Africa. Love that. Yeah. So and you had mentioned in the intro you're based out of South Africa from Congo. So yeah, Africa. I love that. I love that. Sometimes these small things make a lot of difference. So let's look at Africa, and we can see the top customers, and and now click on. Let's see who are our corporate customers. Top corporate. So now go to the graph above, and hold down. I think you have to hold down the control key to
Yes.
click on
Yeah.
corporate. You can also click it from the legend if you're having a problem. Perfect. So now Africa and home office is selected, right? So we can see who our clients are. So you can imagine, I mean, the high level executive is there, but they're most likely having a lot of meetings with their team. So if they're
Mm.
meeting with the Africa team, they have maybe representatives from all these three segments, and they can have this conversation with them and say, hey, home office, uh, yeah, I mean, Felina is doing good. I want to make sure you're taking good care of them. And they'll say, yep, 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 we have a meeting scheduled, we have more orders expected, and something like that, right? So yeah, so you can say things like that, right? So again, let's do a quick rundown of this again. So unselect everything. So Africa, the market, yeah, remove kind of the filters. Yeah, you can also click on like an empty space. Yeah, perfect,
Empty
right?
space. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so let's just do a rundown again. Um, so I'll transition from the sales. So by the way, this is guys that like the next level trick. Uh, for you may not, it may not happen initially, but will happen for you. The master tellers, the transitions are the most fluid. For beginners, it's a little jarring, and it's sometimes jarring when you have to announce what's going to happen. Like you have to say, now we're going to look at sales, and you talk about sales, and then you say, now we're going to look at customers. It's okay. It's okay. Don't fault yourself if you're doing that, but that's again kind of a beginner level. The next level is again you're telling a story, right? So I I was at sales and I was talking about Pareto, and I said, yeah, guys, Pareto is important because 20% products are going to give you 80% of the revenue. And then I'll say that applies to your products and that also applies to your customers. And I click and switch there. So I'm not announcing, I'm just continuing the story, right? I'm not saying, oh, now let's look at customers. Again, that's a bit of a beginner move, right? So I'll say, you know what? Let me get into a story mode. So I'll say, so folks, yeah. So I imagine I'm on the sales tab, and I'll say, yep. So guys, Pareto principle: top 20% of your products are going to give you 80% of the revenue, and most companies are not focused on that. They don't even know which the top selling products are. That doesn't help you. So that applies to your products, and it also applies to your customers. And now I'm on my customer sheet. I wouldn't say that I'm switching to the customer sheet or anything. I need to do this, right? So, and the same applies to the customers. So here you can see the same richness of detail for the customer perspective. Now you can see we have 1 year selected. We can see the number of clients. We can see what the average spend is. We can see the trend, and we can see specifically who are our top 25 most important customers. And not just that. This is what we talked about at the beginning. Sometimes companies have high level numbers, but if you can't get the next level detail, it's not actionable. You can't sit down with your sales team and say, hey, what's happening? Which clients do we need to help? But here you can see we can, because we can see the segmentation by market and segment. So if I'm sitting down with my Africa team, so I go ahead and click on Africa. And you don't even have to announce it like I'm clicking here. No, I mean, again, I mean, it's okay if you do, but so I'm sitting down with my Africa team, and you click here. I can see, I can have talk about these customers, and maybe I have the heads of all of these three segments, consumer, corporate, and home office, with me. And so go ahead and click on any one of those. By the way, it might be easier to click on the legend.
On the legend. Okay.
Actually, that one is easy too. Right? So yeah, so I can have a conversation with each one of them. I can say, hey, Africa corporate, you're handling this. Tell me what, and Bloom, are we getting more orders? Where are we going to close? I have that data in front of me, and I can now manage my business. If I don't have this insight, how can I be a leader? How can I guide my team? I am their captain. They're looking to me for direction. If you don't have data, you can't have uh, you're God, sorry, I messed up a little bit. Yeah, if you don't have data, you cannot be leading your team. It's really challenging to lead your team in the right direction. and get that growth number that we're looking for. Okay. All right. So yeah. So hopefully you get the idea, right? Is it
Yeah.
helping?
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Very much.
Okay. I'll
Very much.
I'll change one thing though, and this is technical. So this has nothing to do with storytelling, but this this cross filtering does not work well with pie and donut charts. So I want you to do one thing. I want you to click on the right now there are two graphs that are selected. I want you to select just the orders by market one.
Order by market.
Yep, yeah, just that one.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. Now go at the top in the menu bar, the file, home, insert, and click on the format link. Yeah, I want to make sure. Hey, hold on. Let me make sure I'm not missing a meeting. I don't think I am. Okay, perfect. We're good to go. Okay. Smaller. Okay, where did that go? Ah, there it is. Okay. All right. So you clicked on that format and the leftmost button, edit interactions. Click on that one.
Edit.
And now you want to just hover over the revenue by segment one. Hover, don't click anything. Yep. And yeah, you were right there. The none box, the stop sign. Yep, this one. Click on that one. Oh, actually, sorry. Don't do that. Click on the arrow next to it. What is it doing? God, this is silly. Click. You know, you see the one icon next to it. Yep, click on that one.
The filter one.
Yeah, what does it do? That is really
I
silly.
clicked on filter.
Huh. Try clicking on Africa again.
I have.
Ah, well. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was something. Okay, ignore that. Yeah, man, that's so weird. Because there should be option to cross highlight or filter, but I'm not seeing it. Click on revenue by segment. Yep, yeah, click on the graph. If you hover
I
over
have
orders by market, oh, I'm seeing that one. Yeah. What is that one? Highlight, and then
highlight. Yes.
next one is filter. Yeah, that's what I was expecting. So click on the
Yes.
filter. Click on this one.
On filter.
The one on the left. So this one is highlight. Move a little left. This one, yeah. Make sure that's clicked.
Yes, I clicked it.
Okay, cool. Try to unfilter the whole thing now. Just you remove the filters that we have. You can just click in the empty space in the graph, revenue by segment and orders by market. Just click in the gray area.
In the gray area.
Yep, yeah, perfect. So yeah, that one is unfiltered. Unfilter the bottom one. Okay. Try to click on corporate, consumer, home office, any one of these. Man, this is so bizarre.
On corporate.
Yep, anyone. Yeah,
Here.
it doesn't matter. Yep. Yeah, just click on that. I want you to select it. Ah,
Yeah, sorry.
oh, this is so much better. Whew. So okay, so
Ah,
this is good. So you notice the bottom graph is not highlighting in donut
yes.
charts and pie charts. Highlighting
Yeah.
isn't it's useless. Like visually, it's
Okay.
useless. It is
Yeah.
actually
Okay.
changing the graph. So go ahead, click on home office, click on consumer, and watch the graph change at the bottom.
Uh,
Right, so you see the graph just changes. It's not cross,
yeah.
it's not highlighting. And
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
click on consumer. Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Let's try that again. I don't know why it didn't work. So click on orders by market again.
Okay. And then
Yeah, man, I don't know why isn't the graph above it showing kind of the cross highlight option. The filter is clicked, right? So click on the filter icon on that one. Okay, and now click on Africa. I think it was still kept doing.
Yeah, it still does it.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, maybe you can do it the other way then. So maybe you can say that. So unfilter that one. So you can flip the order. Go ahead, unfilter that one. Yep. So you can say that, hey, imagine I'm sitting with the heads of my consumer, corporate, and home office. I can have a conversation, meaningful conversation with each of them. So click on consumer is the biggest one. So let's focus on that. So click on consumer, or you know what, corporate might be more interesting. Let's try that.
Incorporate, okay.
Right. I think corporate is blue. Maybe it doesn't matter. Yeah. Try the corporate. Corporate is the
Oh,
one.
sorry, yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yep.
You know, you're right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
so yeah. So I'm sitting with the heads of each of my department, consumer, corporate, home office. I can have a meaningful conversation with each of them. So corporate, you click on that, and then I can go deeper. And then you go to the graph below and click on Africa.
Mhm.
So and with the corporate head, I can have a conversation if I needed to, market by market. I can say, hey, tell me about Africa, tell me about Ann Bloom. So guys, that's where the magic is. It's this next level, next level, next level. Click, click, click. High level numbers, most companies know that. They know their revenue, but do you have the next level detail? Can you see the trend? Can you spot your top customers? Can you then
Yeah.
go the next level beyond that so they can work with your specific teams? In this case, I could be sitting down in that corporate office, focus on Africa, talk about Ann Bloom. What's happening in Ann Bloom? Are we getting more orders? Where we expected to end the return? Maybe the person will say, "Yep, we're on track. Revenue already 3.3 million. We expect to end the year around 5. Things are good. Great." Or not. We'll say, "No, we're seeing an order drop. Something happened. Who knows?" Right? All right. So that's the bonus. All right, man. So good stuff. So I think you're gonna have. So we talked about the problem. It's really
Yes.
important. You got to start there, and then uh, the action as you're walking through, just yeah, stay in storytelling mode. Don't like
Hmm.
this element shows the number of clients, this is summing them up from this table. Nobody cares,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
And you're not here to teach
Thank
them
you.
Power BI, you're not here to explain how it works. You're here to show them what Power BI can do for a business. It can do mind-blowing things, right? So it's not about the tool. So right, yeah, so that's the action part. And then result, I think in your case is going to be similar to Dolores. It's just you go back to the problem. You remind, and repetition is also one of the ninja skills for presenters, good presenters. I mean, if you see
Mhm.
some of these presenters like Simon Sinek, Tony Robbins, and others, man, they repeat things so many times. It sticks. Think about songs. Think about the catchy songs. Think about the ones that we love. Most of them have unbelievable amount of repetition, and that's what we love, right? So repetition can be good
Mm.
to an extent, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, so you would, and again, you can also do the Dolores trick where you can have a page, and I'm not always in favor of AI generated images, by the way. I don't like them. I don't know, but because they're being overused now. But maybe in your case you can, because imagine if you did the story of the blindfolded captain of a ship. Maybe there is a photo out there that you can find, but it'll be easier to create in AI. Do you know how to create photos in AI?
I tried to use on Grok. I generated one or two, so yeah, I think I can get a few.
Nah, you don't need to worry about that. You need to use
Okay.
Copilot. I'll share my screen briefly. So screen two.
I'm gonna come back here.
Okay. Uh, Yeah. So Robert and I have geeked out over this, and yeah, man, Copilot is like, oops, well, what's going on? Copilot,
Okay.
perfect. So create an image showing a blindfolded captain trying to steer a ship using the wheel. Okay, let's see what it does. So what you can do, Eric, is just again use Power BI as PowerPoint. Have sorry, I lost the window we were on. Oops, where did
Yeah.
the edge go? Yeah, have insert a sheet which has some text.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So text can be like, the problem for senior
Mm.
management, something like that, right?
Okay.
And then maybe use one of these images. Like, guys, this is the unfortunate truth.
Okay.
A lot of companies are
Mm-hmm.
not ready to admit it, but they're kind of, you know, sailing blind, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're trying to solve. Say, hey, can
Okay.
can we give them visibility? And not just high
Mm-hmm.
level. Everybody knows the revenue. Can we give them next level? And we'll talk about that in this presentation, right? So that's a problem. And then,
Mm-hmm.
of course, you go through the whole presentation, da da da, the magic, Africa, consumer. I'm having this meeting with my team, right? You're painting this picture, you're telling the story, and then you bring it back. So, say, hey, folks. And by the way, I wrote it down. I want to show you. I put a heart on it. I love this part where you were so candid. And I don't know if you were just saying that because you thought we were in practice or you want to say that. I will say you should say that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Admitting that is such humanness. It only works in a favor. I never hesitate to tell my clients or potential clients what I don't know, what I'm not sure about. And my clients have repeatedly told me, some have hired me because of that. I was like, dude, you were so upfront. He's like, yeah, I can do this, but I don't know anything about oh gosh, what is that power tool which does form power apps? Like, so I'll say, yep, I don't know anything about that. Is it Power BI embedded? I'm like, sorry, don't know. Can help you with DAX. This is what I can do. So yeah, so saying, yeah, so I loved every single word you said there. And I don't know, you had like this blank sheet that you could do that way. That was kind of powerful. It's like, hey guys, this is for future. It's like, yeah, this is just the beginning of the analysis. Of course, we can do more for a company, and hopefully I get to do that for some company, and I'm looking forward to that, right? So that was awesome. Love that. Maybe you can also do it slightly differently instead of again, and you might have done that just for practice. So this is you're not
Mm-hmm.
planning to say, but you could. So you could put a sheet there and have bullet points in there, just simple
Yeah.
text. And so
Mm-hmm.
hey, so this is just the start, and of course, working with the senior management, we can go deeper, right?
Yes.
So we can
Mm.
we can look at year-over-year changes. We can look at this. We can look at that. We can look at like which customers are dropping. We can look into alerting. Like as soon as we notice a drop, can the sales team be alert? Whatever is in your mind, you can just put that in there. Say, hey, these are just some ideas, but of course, um, I'm looking forward to having the opportunity to work with somebody to help with those things. So that was nice. Cool. So I'm gonna turn off my sharing and let me think. So problem, action, yeah. So result, you bring it back to the captain of the ship,
Mm-hmm.
and then you say, hey folks, so yeah, I mean, you kind of see that. And again, as I said in the beginning, this is the goal. Like, leaders
Yeah.
should not be sailing blind. They should have visibility, but great visibility into what's ahead, so they can steer the company away from dangers and steer them towards growth and development.
Yeah. Yeah.
Boom, right? Poof, less is more, right? So you don't have to say that much on that. That
Yeah.
speaks for itself. So that's the result. And the final thing, do you remember what the final thing is?
Yes. Call to action.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
something simple. It's like, hey,
Yeah.
want to talk about this? Connect with me on LinkedIn or send me an email. And
Yeah.
make sure that is on the slide. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. All right. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, all right. We're doing good. So I think we did lose Louise. Hopefully she gets to practice it with her accountability partner. Oh boy, guys. So hey, thank you so much. to everybody. And I always learn by trying to teach. So yeah, I mean, sometimes people are like, "Oh, Avi, thank you so much," and it helped me. I'm like, "Yeah, it helped me too." So yeah,
Yeah.
that's great. So looking forward to next week. I'll be working with Robert. It's going to be the same time
Okay.
as today. So nine. That's 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern, and uh, yeah, I'll work with Robert to kind of send out the invites and so forth.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else before we close?
No, but you are a great teacher, I must say. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, it helps when you have great students.
Thank you.
All right. All right, guys. Love you all, man. Take care. All right.
Thank
All
you,
right.
Evie. See you
Yep.
Okay.
next week.
Thank you
Okay.
very much.
All
Bye
Thank
right.
you
bye.
very
Bye.
much.
Bye, Dolores.